Hello and welcome to, I guess the first chapter because the first one was the prologue, which we didn't know was going to be the prologue. We were just playing 2 sessions. So today is the first day of the first chapter of Daughter of Alba, and today's title is Grian-stad, which translates as the shortest day of the year. Solstice, winter solstice. It is the 15th of December. It is quite early in the morning. You have just been expelled from your home of Dunlevin Hall, of which you were to become the Cyrus, but then decided, hey, let's not, because everything was terrible. And you felt you couldn't really step into that role, considering that your father had got it by entering into a demon pact and killing his best friend. And you essentially were sent away by the Laird of MacDonald, and he disowned you. So you are no longer a member of his clan. You're no longer able to carry his name, MacDonald. So you're no longer a MacDonald. And you have decided to go back to the Highlands, where you have been, or where you had been living for several years, 4 or 5 years, with a friend of yours, Siobhan, who is a priestess of the goddess of life, bountiful harvest, etc., flowers, and essentially everything that's good in the world, Siobhan. And the previous evening, you had discovered that you are now carrying a mark between your shoulder blades, which looks like you have been branded, but you have no memory of that. But you're pretty sure that you would remember if somebody had put a brand on your back that is the size of my palm.
Yes.
And you went to sleep. Siobhan has decided that she's going to take watch because you had not slept in 2 days and 1 night. And the previous night, or the second to last night, you had been woken by your father, by a demon. And you face down Samiel, who is one of the archdemons the demon that haunts Alba, and you are knackered. It's still cold, it's been raining, it's terrible. And you had a dream the previous night in which Cyrus, who posed as a dye merchant from Chrysaea, but has now informed you that he's actually Samuel's father, has told you that you will meet again.
Not looking forward to that.
Yeah, and you had some choice words for him to haunt him and to send him from your dreams, and he has left your dreams for now. And you can hear noises now. So you open your eyes. It's still kind of dark, but you can feel, because you do have some sense of time as well, having lived in and within nature for the last 5 years, that it's approaching dawn. Siobhan is making a very, very scarce and sparse breakfast, because you have about 5 to 6 days travel ahead of you before you reach your home. And you have managed to get a travel package off of Tabitha, but essentially it's deepest, darkest winter, so you don't know if you will be able to hunt anything. So you wake up. She has basically stoked the fire a little, so it's burning again. So what do?
I will stretch and yawn loudly so she hears me.
Good morning.
Good, kind of morning.
Yeah, you did sleep like a log.
Well, I had wonderful dreams.
The way you're saying this makes me think it might not be the case and that you're being sarcastic.
Well, in my dreams, I saw our dear dye merchant traveler, who is definitely not a good person. Rather not a person.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, more like a demon. And he showed up in your dream.
Yes.
And what did he
visit
say?
me again.
I knew it. It's the symbol, isn't it? Did he mention it?
Not in detail, not really, but I think it's connected. Well,
Did he
I
want?
told him off that he can go where the sun is shining.
This is the third time you've told a demon to go away.
I don't
This is
want
becoming
that.
a habit.
They should look for other people to bug. Why me? Don't say it. But hey, let's see if he comes back next night, or if at least for a bit I have peace and quiet.
But he didn't.
Useless to them anyhow. I have no power, I have no land, I have nothing except myself and you as a friend. That's all there's left. So I have
wonder.
no idea why they still have interest in me.
Well, I wonder if there isn't anything about you that they consider powerful. Maybe it's not earthly power, maybe it's something else.
I can punch people quite well. I'm not sure that is unearthly. And I'm quite stubborn. That part is probably more than average human.
Yes, and they did get a dose of that one.
I'm not a magical person. I can punch, I can hunt, I can run, I can climb.
Well, maybe we'll find out. If he comes back, you can always ask him.
I can invite him that if he wants to talk, he should show up in person, maybe at the campfire, and talk to both of us. No.
The last time his son showed up, he wanted to take me to hell, so maybe not.
Well, maybe the father is a little bit more considerate in his actions than the son. Not sure. I'm hoping. Because the son was an asshole.
Yes. He's also the most powerful demon to walk Alba, so you might want to watch your tongue.
He knows I think he's an asshole. That's not a secret.
Yeah, but he is still powerful. He can kill you if where you stand if he chooses to.
If he wanted me dead, I would be dead.
Well, back then he didn't. He wanted you to take the mantle and send me to hell.
The thing is, if his father has interest in me, I'm not sure Daddy's son will touch. I'm not sure if that is a good thing or not. But honestly,
did he say that was he married? Did we see a ring?
I did not look.
Maybe he wants to exchange vows with you.
Goodness gracious. I will stand up and you're already making breakfast.
Well, we need to move.
True. And about the whole demon thing, we can worry about it if it comes up again. I just hope they leave us in peace and quiet for the rest
of our lives, which could be the next 60 years if we're lucky.
That would be quite lovely.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking it's probably going to take us 5 to 6 days to get home, which would be just in time for the solstice celebrations, over which I will have to preside like every year if we make it in time.
We will.
So maybe we should try and hunt, or you should try and hunt once while we're on the journey, because I'm not much use, but I can make this stretch. And she looks at the provisions that you've got for about 3 to 4 days, but no more. So we will have to get something else in the meantime.
We will. For sure. I will keep eyes and ears open. Maybe if we do a short break in between where I see a space where there should be at least some rabbits or something like that.
Looks like it's not raining.
That's
maybe
something.
We'll hold for the day. That would be good, because last night I got really soaked.
Yeah, also when it's not raining, it's more feasible to catch things, because also the animals don't like the rain and start hiding.
And I can't blame them. And so there is tea and there is some gruel. So she's making porridge.
It fills the stomach.
Yeah, it does. It does. But she looks at you and she beams at you and she says, "Do you know what Tabitha packed? She gave us salt."
That will be for the special occasions.
That will be for the special occasions.
Bless her heart. I hope they're
I
all
wonder
fine.
how she's doing.
Yeah.
She must be heartbroken. I was thinking maybe we can send them a message after a couple of months.
I'm not sure a message will come through if they know from who it comes.
Well, we can always say it's from me.
That's true. You are not kicked out. We should, at least to her, also see if Jonathan and the horses are fine.
Yeah. And Kenneth, if Kenneth was made sire, or what happened to Duncan. Because that was never resolved while we were there.
No. I hope that the clan chief is smart enough to see that Kenneth would be a good leader, especially with Duncan by his side. They are loyal.
They didn't see that coming.
No. But Duncan is also quite stubborn and strong.
Yes, that he is. Probably why your dad chose him. So, how about you get the horses ready and I clean up here and dose the fire. Okay, so your horse is a wonderful black horse named Stodham. Very tall, very handsome, really pretty. Whereas Siobhan rides a horse called Perseverance, short Percy. It's a gelding. It is the quiet type. Not the smartest, but it'll keep up.
Yeah, and then we.
You also know she can't ride. She's terrified.
I will help her to get on the horse. She will just get used to it. That's at least Ashling's in her mind. It will be fine. She has a good horse, a calm horse. This will work out over time. You just need practice.
Yeah, he's so chill. If he was any more chill, he'd be horizontal.
So I will give Percy some scratches and probably just pick up some grass and feed it to him and just whisper to him, be a nice one. Don't scare her off. And then I will get on Storm's back and start heading onwards towards home. And during the day, I will try to keep my eyes open for spaces where I would suspect some either deer or rabbits, whatever is out here at the moment, to see if I can shoot one with my bow.
With your bow. So you can actually do a knowledge animals check. Tierkunde.
That was a big no.
What did you roll?
14. That's no.
Oh, including your. Then you rolled a 3 or something. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh god. Yep. Yeah. Well, they're still not kind of back from the rain, so today looks like nothing.
Okay.
But at least it's now cleared up. So maybe tomorrow you'll be luckier. But also the point is that you're still not too far away from where people dwell. So of course animals tend to stay away from there because they know that they will get hunted. But you do know that over the next 2 days you're going to get into a lot less inhabited areas where it's probably going to be a lot easier to hunt, weather permitting. And you meet no one on the road, so which is probably a good thing.
At the moment, yes.
Because the thing is also that you know that this information about you having been expelled will travel quickly, and it will be told to everyone of the clan that you are no longer welcome. That doesn't mean that they will kill you on sight. It's not like that, but that they cannot give you help and that they don't want to associate with you. Okay, so we'll just fast forward a little bit because it's going to be very uneventful, but you can do 2 more checks to see, and plus 2 this time, each time to your rolls, because you now you come into maybe take a real die.
Let's see. I am rolling horribly. Really horribly.
Even with a +2?
Yeah.
Oh,
I rolled a 3, a 4, and a 3.
Oh my god, this is terrible.
It is, so real dice it will be.
Well, I just rolled a 2 as well, just for fun.
Good.
So this, if I roll one more time below 10, this is gonna die. This die is gonna die. So it is getting. So it's now the 4th day, and you have essentially run out of food. You're not running out of water because there is enough. And you do know. You look at it, and the problem is you don't make. You're not as fast as you were hoping because of the weather. Because the roads are simply really bad. So you will be traveling 2 more days and you don't have anything left. She's managed to stretch it this far, but no further.
Any chance on looking on any kind of plant stuff?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
We can eat?
That is possible.
Because there's also knowledge in plants, so...
Yeah.
Should I give it a try?
Please do. You can do both, actually. And you get a +2 to each of those.
Yay! I'm finding plants. I rolled a 19.
You rolled a 19. In that case, you actually get to tick this, because it means that when you want to increase that stat, you get help. It's less expensive.
That is something I cannot do in the character sheet.
You can't?
No.
That is interesting.
Let me see. Nope. I can make a note. That wouldn't be an issue.
Well, interestingly enough, I can. What was it?
Naturkunde.
Ah. Okay. Made a note.
Okay. That is interesting.
Yeah, okay, so you do find edible stuff. It's essentially some kind of root vegetable stuff, out of which she makes an acceptable stew.
Yeah, watery probably, but at least it's warming up and filling the stomach.
Yes, and of course you always have tea, but this is also a lot better than tea. And she makes as much as she can, and then it'll keep. You can take it with you. And on the 6th day, you finally are on the home stretch. Now, home in this case is actually just a number of, let's say, 5 or 6, maybe 7 houses that are spread out across a couple of, half an acre, maybe. No, well, more than that. There's a couple of acres of houses. There are people who have sheep pens. There is some agriculture going on. So they do have in summer, every so often they have some stuff, some I don't know, whatever, Emma, Gerste, whatever, wheat. You only have a very short season during which you can grow stuff, and you only have like 1 harvest a year, because this is the Highlands. And there are also 2 little lakes. They are lakes, but they are little, for fishing. And you can also use them to ice fish in winter. So if you go out there and you take an axe with you and you open up the ice, then you can still go fishing. And in summer it gets quite marshy around those. And sometimes people go bird snaring there because, and there's hare snaring, of course. And your house, the one that the 2 of you live in, is a little bit further away, about 4K, in the middle between 2 mountain ranges. So walking into, as it were, the village usually takes you about half an hour. On horse you will be a little bit faster. And You basically come out on top. So the road goes on into the north, and then you have to take a little bit like a footpath south
Okay.
to get to where the houses are. But you have a really lovely view of the valley where the houses are, and it looks super peaceful.
Okay, good.
You can see the houses, you can see they're all thatched roofs, stone houses with thatched roofs, and each of them has, of course, a chimney, and you can see the smoke coming from them. You can smell the peat fires and this very distinct acrid smell. And Siobhan says, "We're home."
And I'm quite happy about it.
Then you should turn your frown upside down. And she looks at your face.
She's getting a big smile back. Let's get home. Then I will go out and I'll collect some wood and make sure that we have at least the basic stuff. Maybe I can even try to hunt again. Maybe I'll find something.
All right. And you canter down the path, and after a while, maybe 15 minutes, you see a person waving and running towards you.
I'm waving back.
And you basically, do you stop your horses?
Yes.
Okay, so he runs up to you, and he looks at you and he nods, and then he bows to Siobhan and he says, Sister, we didn't dare hope that you would be back to celebrate the solstice with us. So will you be leading the prayers? And she says, yes, I will be back just before sundown. Tell everyone to have the fire ready, and I will be here, and I will be leading the prayers. And he bows deeply and he says, yes, sister, I will tell everyone. And he runs away, and she turns to you and she says, can you imagine if they had a temple? They would all call me mother and kneel before me. I'm so glad they don't have a temple. Can you imagine people kneeling to you? And she canters away.
It will go in Ashling's to-do list for one day. We need to set up a little temple here so they can kneel in front of Siobhan, because that's the right person to kneel in front of.
Yeah, considering that you had a lot of kneeling and miladying for about 4 days when everybody still thought you were going to be the next Cyrus. Well, like cantering and going a little bit more quickly on horse, it takes you about 30 minutes from the beginning of the village to, 40 minutes to where you live, because the village is really drawn out. And the house is still standing. Not that you would have expected anyone to do anything to it, but of course, in winter, everything looks really bleak. So there are no flowers, there is snow, it's grey, sun hasn't been out today at all. And she gets off the horse and says, I just realised we don't even have anywhere where we can put a second horse. The stable is too small.
Well, they can cozy up, and I will tomorrow start building an extension.
She looks at you. Let's start the new year with a building project. I like it. And of course, there is, one thing that you find in the Highlands everywhere is stone.
Yeah.
It comes to the surface in little pieces, and you just hammer it, and then you move it, and then you can build homes. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
And so basically she says, okay, so she looks at the sun.
What you have to prepare. I will take care of this.
Are you sure?
Just showing to the house. The question is, do you want me over there with you?
No, you didn't come in the past. You always got a private service, so if you want to, you can keep it this way.
The question is, will the rest be disturbed if I'm showing up?
I'm pretty sure that they would love to see you there.
Then...
But it's not a requirement. I will bless you personally, as always, if that's your wish.
When do we have to leave?
Yeah, she looks at the sun again and says, well, I'd say probably in around an hour and a half at the latest.
Okay.
I mean, I still have to get my stuff.
Then let's bring the stuff in quickly, and then I will try to at least find some wood or anything we can burn. Because if we come back, it's late and dark. We should have something by then.
Yeah.
I will just give her probably some of my stuff that she can carry it inside, and I will take care of the horses. And yes, they have to cozy up a bit. And I will be like, I know it's a bit tight. We will fix that tomorrow, guys.
They look quite happy, though. It is tight, but they look quite happy. Yes, it is very warm.
And then I will circle around and see if I can find a bit of wood here and there to collect for a fire.
As you circle around, you notice that somebody has piled some peat there, possibly as an offering to the sister.
Okay.
In return for services rendered.
Well, we will take that, thank you. So...
Obviously, they were hoping, praying maybe that she'd get back, and so that she, so you are in luck.
Then warmth is covered, so I will carry it back in front of the house and partly into the house. I will just come inside, probably just like, we got presents. Well, I guess you got a present. They really pray that you will come back.
Well, it's good to feel needed, isn't it?
I'm quite happy I'm not needed, but... Well, they're sitting on the right person.
Okay, so how about we just make a fire so that the whole house warms up while we're gone. And,
that sounds good.
And I'm pretty sure that I can ask for some food to tide us over until I'm able to make bread and stuff, because obviously we have no provisions here either. So we took everything what we couldn't take, we gave away. So they will tide us over for a couple of days. That's not a problem. And then we will have to start making our own stuff again.
We will manage. We are creative.
Yes, we will.
Well, it's the worst time to start because we can't plant anything.
You could finally teach me how to fish.
That we can do. I can also try to teach you to hunt with a bow.
She looks at you and she's... Can we maybe start with the easiest?
We can start with... I will show you how to set up some traps and snares, so that's the easier catching part.
Let's do that.
Good.
And then you see the...
Ride together. I think we can share a horse. That would be quicker.
Yeah, let's do that. So she has like a little basket and she puts, and you see that she has little pieces of wood, very, very thin. And you know that this is oak. It's very important, apparently, that this is oak. So what happens is it gets put into a fire so that it basically turns a little bit into coal. And then she will use this to draw a sign on everyone's forehead, the sign of the undying sun, which is essentially the symbol of the sun god Zan, the god of life and the sun and the light, who is essentially Varna's brother. And there's a third brother called, or a second brother called Ilator, and he's the god of the dead. So it's like these three siblings that are the deity, the pantheon, the main gods. There are others, but those are the main ones. And so when the horses are ready, or when the horse is ready, she is also ready, and you get up, you help her up so that she doesn't fall off.
Yeah, it's Storm, so
because he's tall.
I will reach down to her and pull her up behind me, and then we will ride to the village. And since we don't have luggage, we can, I think, be quite quick and swift.
You are very quick and swift, and because Storm, when he wants to, or when you ask him to, is a very quick horse. He is almost a war horse. He's very tall, very lithe, and made for traveling quickly.
Yeah.
And so you reach the outskirts, as it were, of the village, and you can see people are already congregating in what one could call the main square. So it's like an area that is closest to all of the houses, and they have put up what is almost a bonfire. And people have turned out in their best dresses. So whatever goes as good dress here. So everybody's wearing, if they are allowed to wear tartan, they are wearing a tartan. Siobhan has donned her robes, so she is now wearing all of the regalia of her priesthood. And so then what happens is she will start the prayers. People will answer. So it's like a calling song. So she says the first line, and then everybody replies with the second one. And this is basically a prayer, or a series of prayers that tries to persuade the sun to not keep moving away into darkness further, but to actually stop and then come back, which is of course what happens. That's what the sun does on these days. On this day. And then the sun sets, and as the sun sets, people kneel, and you know that she really hates that part. And then
I will kneel as well, because I'm joining the rest. I will be quite in the back, but I will kneel as well.
So basically people are making nice rows, because what she will now do is she will now hold these pieces of oak wood into the fire until she has a little bit of coal, and then she goes from person to person and bows down, because she needs to, well, she is not that tall, so she doesn't really have to do a lot of bowing, and in your case not at all, because you are very tall even kneeling down. And she says the following words as she's standing in front of the first person, who happens to be a man, and she draws the symbol of the undying sun between his eyebrows. I bless you, brother, with coal from the fire. I bless you with the sign of the undying sun. And then he says, so be it. And so this goes on until she reaches you. Are you trying to laugh, to make her laugh?
Puppy? No, I will just in all honesty, will just look at her and just wait to do the ceremony.
And she looks at you and she puts the coal between your eyes and she says, I bless you, sister, with coal from the fire. I bless you with the sign of the undying sun. And she doesn't get it wrong. I did get it wrong.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what was the answer? So be it? Something like that? So be it.
So be it.
And she would also add, thank you.
And she gives you a light smile. And then she passes on through the rows. And all told, there are about 30 to 40 people living here, you know, all generations. And the little ones, the babes in arms, as it were, they do get a sign, but it's not the coal. So she just basically dabs her finger on the coal and she just draws the sign with her finger rather than with the coal, because it is hot. So it's not painful, but it's uncomfortable. And then everyone gets up and they all basically cross hands with their neighbor and basically hold the hands of their neighbors, and then they shake hands, and then she says, and tomorrow, new life, new year, the sun will be back. And it's now about 3:30 and it's pitch dark. So if it wasn't for the fire. And then a couple of people, women come to her and they offer her food. So, you know, there are a couple of potatoes, there is a couple of this and that, and she just accepts some of it. She always takes half of what's given. And then you also overhear that some people say that they would like to have a word with her, and could they come by in the next couple of days? And then she says yes. Or she also says, and then there is apparently one parishioner, as it were, who is bedridden, and she's making a promise to see them the next day and come to them and be with them. And and then there are also at least 2 women who are expecting, and of course they need a healer. So she's basically also now getting back into the role that she has, which is the healer of the area.
Perfect. Aisling enjoys watching that. And she's enjoying that she's not in the middle of all of this, that she's more the bystanding person. So she would slowly get closer to Siobhan and just carefully offer, I can carry your stuff if you want.
And she thanks you and she gives you some of the food. I mean, some of it she will, the two of you will have to share the load because it is quite a lot and you only have two hands, but she has this basket. And it's quite interesting. People don't know what has happened to you.
Yeah.
Some may have noticed that you're not wearing your tartan, but it's a question of whether they actually attribute any meaning to it, because it could be that it got dirty while you were traveling. You never know. You could have got stained. Yeah. But I would say, what do you think would have been your role in that community in the past? How would you have interacted with people? What would you have been doing? Because you are an imposing figure, because simply of your height. I mean, you are taller than everyone else.
I think I would have been more known as the helping hand of Siobhan, not in medical healing point of view, but I would run errands, grab stuff what she need that I know how to get it, and if not, I would just help around. If anything needs to be built or carried or anything where you need someone with a bit of strength. And I think also in hunting she would have shared or traded like meat or leather against other things we need. And the town would know her as totally not able to do any kind of field work. Well, she can do the field work, but she's horrible with any kind of plants. So she doesn't have a green thumb. She really doesn't. But she's trying.
And so, of course, people would also, first of all, people acknowledge your presence, because that's unusual, because in the past you wouldn't have come because religion wasn't your thing.
I would just greet the people.
Yeah, but they do talk to you and they wish you a good return of the sun, as it were. And
thank you. And I would probably quite nicely just ask if everyone is okay or if anything happened the time we were gone.
And one of the men, you know him as Seamus. Well, you know him as Seamus. His name's Seamus. Mm-hmm. You know him as Seamus, but his name is actually something else. Exactly. You think his name is Seamus. Tells you that there has been a little bit of trouble with wolves, because apparently up in the Highlands, like in the mountains, it's been really, really cold. So they have been seen near the village. And so far, no one has seen them, approach the livestock. And the livestock, of course, is penned. But if this doesn't get better, they might send out a hunting party to just teach them a lesson, because once they get too close, in winter, they have been known to attack people.
Because they're hungry.
Because they're hungry, not because they're evil, but because they're hungry. And then every so often, this has happened in the past. So it's nothing that is unusual, but of course, it's a worry. So he said that... and he asks you outright that if the time comes, if he could ask you to join, because it's always welcome to have someone like you with them.
Me in. We are back for good, so definitely we will try to keep the place safe.
All right, that's very good news. That's very good news. And they just call you Aisling, so because
she wouldn't have wanted it in any other way, and now it's quite convenient that they can just keep with the name. At least Dad is staying.
And so essentially, you then make your way back. Everyone else is going home as well, because it's cold, it's dark. And depending on how religious people are, some of them may actually wake through the night to wait for the sun to come up. You definitely know that Siobhan is going to do this. So she usually also camps outside to greet the sun as it comes up. She, in the past, was super religious in terms of that she would always do fasting as well. But that was in Dunlevenhall. Here, where it's so austere and so cold and so trying, she doesn't fast, because it's just too bad on the body because it's just too hard. And then you travel back.
Yeah.
And she says, well, I think we should have something to eat now. We've got plenty. So this will last us a couple of days. We can make this last a week if we try.
Let's see. I will still try to hunt something.
about those snares.
And we'll teach you a few things. And in springtime, we can start planting. Well, maybe you should, the way I'm doing it, but maybe I can learn from you. It can't be that difficult to plant some potatoes.
We will start easy. We will start with some herbs that grow naturally here.
Okay.
Unless you really try, it's going to be difficult to kill them.
Don't tempt me. But no, I'm not planning to kill any plants.
So she looks at what she has. So there are a couple of things that are really valuable. One of them is butter.
Ooh.
So, and we have some wheat, ground wheat. So I will make bread because that is going to last us. Exactly. And we have some salt, which is good. Yeah. And we have half a hare. So we could make hare stew.
We should. That will also keep up, at least for tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. And then she looks at it and she says, well, we could put in some of these carrots. And we got apples. They will keep.
They will. And we got a few potatoes, if I've seen right. So we will make this work. It's nice to see that everyone here is safe and sound. Nothing really bad happened. And they're happy.
What was that about the wolves? I didn't quite catch that.
The wolves are drawing near to the village out in the mountains. It's cold and very... Well, I guess they're hungry, and villages are an easy catch. So they will keep an eye open, and if the wolves get too close, we'll go out hunting. Scare them off a bit.
I wonder about waiting outside and watching tonight if there are wolves about.
You need someone to watch over you guys.
No, I'm on my own, so...
I am happy to keep you company and stay awake. You watched over me last night. I'm fit. I can do the watch.
Good. Okay, then that's settled. Yep. So she then proceeds to make food. And, well, you can do whatever you like, but basically after about 3 hours, food is served. What do you want? Do you want to do anything special during those 3 hours, or do you just want to basically unpack? Because I don't think you've really had time to...
I think I would
do whatever you need to do.
Just take care that Storm is well cleaned now, and both horses are warm and fed, and then I would unpack. And probably being outside with the horses would also look at the stable and try to make some plans on how to extend it without having to use too much material. And then I will just wait for food.
Yeah, it's about time for you to actually get fed, because you're feeling it now. And she comes outside and she says, well, dinner's ready when you are.
I am ready. I'll be there in a sec.
And the thing is, of course, the place that you have is rather small, so it's nothing compared to the hall. Probably your whole room would fit into this. And that's a kitchen, that is the living room, that is the bedroom, essentially. And it is also, for you, it's actually sometimes in some areas difficult to stand up because, of course, the roof is like this. So you sometimes have to hunch over.
It's still feeling home.
Yeah, it does.
And probably even more home than back. Because this is our small, safe place. It always was. So Aisling is quite happy here. So she's much more relaxed and smiling being around.
And then you have your dinner, and then she says, well, normally I would go outside and start my watch now. And you know that she always has a little fire going, because obviously otherwise it's going to be too cold. So if you really want to come with me, now would be the time.
Then Aisling will grab her bow and some arrows, and will grab a blanket and everything that you
Mm-hmm.
can use to stay warm. Then let's go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically, she goes. So you are in an east-west corridor, as it were, with your cottage or your house. So she actually goes due east.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense because that's where the sun rises, and there is a little hill, and she usually sits on that hill. And then she builds a fire. There happens to be a tree there. You know, these trees in the Highlands that the wind has basically
That they are,
shorn so
yeah.
that they go like sideways. And that's exactly what this looks like. And then she sits down and she says, "Now we wait. You can sleep. It's okay,
I
but I
am
will wait."
doing the watch. I'm fine with that. And Ashling will just sit down, blanket probably a bit rolled up, and she will scan a bit around. Since we're on a hill, at least we should
Mm-hmm,
have a bit of a better
mm-hmm,
view. And
mm-hmm,
she will just keep eyes open and ears open for wildlife, especially wolves.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So you since it is completely dark, you do see lights in the distance from the village because some people are still awake and they have light in, and you can see it coming through, and you can also see the fire that had been burning. It's now burnt down, but you can still see the glow. You do not hear anything except for the wind. You are lucky in that it's not raining or snowing. But there is a constant wind because it's almost like a funnel. Those two mountain ranges act like a funnel, and it's really cold. And Siobhan does what she usually does at night before she goes to sleep. She prays, but this time she doesn't really stop, but she keeps going.
Okay.
She has a lot of stamina, and this is going to be quite a long night. So it's around about 11 o'clock now, so it's going to be until about 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning when the sun actually starts showing itself on the horizon.
Yep.
But after about 3 hours of praying, she stops and she looks at you. Are you still awake?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If I, at least, yeah, I think she would. She had slept last night.
Yeah, that was
She
you have
had rest,
yeah,
so
yeah.
she would. I think Ashling in between would just stand up and would get moving and warming up a bit by stomping a little bit around
Mm-hmm.
and going in circles around our mini camp, and then
Mm-hmm.
just sit down again.
Mm-hmm. And you do strain your ears, but it is very quiet. It's very peaceful.
Good.
If it wasn't so chilly, it would probably be quite nice, actually. Yeah, and then she looks at you and she says, "So it's now going to be a new year."
Well, let's hope it's better than the last.
Yeah.
Well, can't get much worse, can it?
Well, no. Well, I mean, it could get worse. You could actually get into a demon pact yourself.
That will not happen. At least not if I'm at my complete senses. I know, never say never. I learned that kind of lesson because I would have sworn on my life that my father would have never done such a thing. But I don't intend to. And I will try my best to resist any kind of offer of a demon.
Yeah. Lead us not into temptation.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then it all goes quiet. And you wait. And then you are lucky again because there are no clouds.
Okay.
So you can see the stars. And then you can actually see the sunrise. And this is, of course, her cue. So she does start to pray again. And the sun comes up, and you know that at least for this year, the sun god hasn't left Alba. So you can hope for a good year because the sun has come back. So for somebody who's not religious, not so much, but for everybody else, this is a reason to celebrate.
I think also in these kind of beliefs, Aisling is quite fine to join. Although she's probably suspecting Sun will come anyhow, but, well, especially nowadays for her, it's an easy and good thing to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a nice sign. A new year, new beginning, new adventures.
Yeah, new adventures. And she looks and she says, we've got all those books that you wanted to read, the travelogue, and all the maps you wanted to study. They're all at the hut, at the cottage.
Let's get settled here.
Yeah, let's get going.
Okay.
I have at least 2 expecting mothers to talk to today, and then a bedridden person who needs my help.
Just holler if you need help from me. If not, I will work on hunting and on getting our horses comfy home.
Yes, let's get going. I'm hungry.
Yeah, kind of. Although I think Aisling would pull out an apple out of her pocket, would cut it in half, and would hold out one half of the apple to her.
She takes the apple and she's very happy about it, and
Aisling will munch on the second half, although it's quite cold, probably.
Well, if you carry it in your pocket, it's probably body warmth.
Yeah, it's body warmth. That's true.
Yeah. So it's but I mean, and you get back, and then she gets some tea going, and then she does walk back into town or into the village. And she says, this is going to take me a couple of hours. So I will probably not be able to make lunch. I'll come back whenever.
Yeah. Just try to be back when it's getting, dark.
I'll try to be back before dark. Yeah.
And I will try to not burn down our house.
Yeah, that would be preferable because it's the only one we've got now.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, and try not to fall off a ladder if you're going to build a stable.
No worries about that as well.
Good. And she waves at you and she walks away. So you have the whole house to yourself. What are you gonna do? Party?
Yes. No. I will go outside to see if I can hunt something to eat, and B, if I can find at least some wood, because I can imagine, or at least if I remember right, even in the houses they are using some wood, at least for the roof, that you have something you can put the stone on and everything is holding up. So she will try that to find something, although we don't have massive forests here, but here and there maybe something is there.
Okay, so you can hunt in several ways. You could, for example, do some snaring, which means you're just building the snares and you put them out.
I think she would do both. She would prepare some snares for checking next day if something is in. And then she would also go out really searching for something like a rabbit with her bow. Or like, I don't know, maybe some kind of birds, whatever is out at the moment.
Okay, so let's say you make 5 snares. You don't have to roll for this, you just make them because you know how this works. You set them.
Yep.
And then you go out and you know the hunting grounds around here because this is where you've lived for the last 5 years. And you choose a promising area. And then I think the easiest way of doing this is you just wait.
Yeah.
And we just roll against a stat that I'm now inventing, and it's your luck stat.
Okay.
Your luck is... No, that's not your luck because that's 6. That's almost like...
That's just like my...
Like Alice's luck.
Like Alice's luck in Cthulhu. Sounds good.
Maybe not use these dice. We'll just say that your luck is 65. That sounds like a round number, so you can note this down. And then we just roll against that luck, and you roll under, and then it's a success.
Okay, so then it's D100 for that.
Yeah.
You say 65. Let's see. No, Cthulhu dice are not the ones I like here. Oh, wait. That is a 32. So.
Good. So you do find rabbits or whatever it was that you were hunting for.
Yeah.
So basically you now just I want to try this once. You roll against your bow plus your sharpshooter ability. So essentially that would be you roll against a 12. So yes, basically you roll with a 12. So you need to roll an 8 or higher on a d20 to hit.
Let's see. I rolled an 11.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah, okay. You hit.
Nice.
You get a hare. Or well, it's probably a rabbit. You hunt a really nice rabbit. It yeah, and actually I think you get to roll twice because you have this. So we say you actually have 2 that you could in theory hunt. So roll the second time.
Let's see. Nope. That's a 2.
That one eloped. It saw its dead comrade and it ran away.
I will at least walk over and see if I can grab my arrow back because it's useful.
Let's see if you can grab
the
your
game
arrow
is
back.
not even taking care about arrows.
Yes, you rolled a 4 on your luck check. Yes.
I am finding it. It's stuck in the snow.
Hey, yeah, and it's intact. So
Good.
yeah, conserving everything that you've got. That's a good idea. So you go back to your house. You have set the snares.
On
and
the
you
way
think
where I'm outside, I would look also for wood. If I'm out anyhow, I will look for any kind of wood.
Yeah, and there are trees like the ones that I described. So you basically can break off. They are dry now because it's winter. So
she will just get a few branches that she can carry, and then she will return home.
And and then when you look at the stables, you think that you can make this work. It's going to take probably a week, because you have to get the stones and you have to do all of this. You have to, well, it's dry stone walling, so you don't have mortar. You just fit them together, and then you put
is it just mud that you
you put mud against them. And then also if you can get it some straw to basically, but that's something that you can usually get because the straw is available. You also use it for your horses anyway. And so
I will prepare the rabbit first of all, and prepare also and work on the leather, and will then just start on extending the stable.
Okay, so you start collecting stones. That would be the first step. That is actually going to be quite grueling work. So this is going to take you a while because you have to find them. You know where to look. It's like, you know, it's like a rockery out there. So they just lie about, but you have to get them and you have to then carry them. But you are fairly strong, so you can do this. But it is exhausting.
It will be her work for the next days as well. She will just collect until it's getting evening. And in the evening, her goal is to just do some reading.
Yeah, so basically Siobhan returns.
She will see a rabbit hanging outside, or at least a part we can cook, and a bit of leather drying next to it.
You've been successful. Very good.
Well, it took 2 shots. I am definitely out of training.
Yeah, well, you were spoiled rotten in that hall.
Yeah. I'm happy to hunt my own stuff now. It's much nicer.
Well, on the plus side, we've got 2 mothers who are expecting and they are in very good health.
Good. How's the other one?
She's old.
Oh.
I mean, this is probably her last year.
Then let's hope she doesn't have to suffer too much.
She will be all right. I gave her something. She's not in pain. It's just very cold.
Okay.
She is, well, she is old. She says she's seen over 80 winters.
That is
Yeah.
an age I'm
Yeah.
not sure I even want to reach. Or if I'm fit.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder. But she's okay. I've made her comfortable.
Good.
She just needs food. She needs tea. And yeah. And then the gods will do what they will.
I did not really dare to start cooking because I'm afraid I will ruin the rabbit.
It's not a problem. I'll do that. And she starts working on the rabbit. And she takes part of it and hangs it over the fire, over the peat fire to
Smoke it.
To smoke it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she fries some, and then the last quarter she puts in a stew. So when she fries it, of course, it means then when it's cooled down, it holds. It keeps longer.
Yep.
And and she says, okay, so we're gonna have rabbit stew again. I'm sorry that there isn't as much change in our diet, but I'm not Tabitha. I don't have as many resources.
And it's tasty. That's
Good.
all we need.
And she sits down, and you have something to eat. And she says, so how's the stable coming along?
It'll take me a few days, but I think I can get everything to get an extension for Percy. And then both of them will have their own little place. They can still talk to each other if they like to. But they should be safe and sound against the weather. That's the main goal. Maybe I will extend it to the front a little bit, that we have a little bit of an overhang. Let's see.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
And speaking of weather, it's actually turned, so it's now snowing heavily, so it's cold. It's very cold, and the wind is howling. And you are actually quite happy that you don't have to be outside, but you can now roll on. Well, you actually don't have that skill, so I'll roll for you. Oh, you hear nothing. You just hear the wind.
Okay.
It is very, very windy. And then she says, so, do you want to take a look at those maps?
Yes. Really curious.
Okay.
As well, if you want to have a look at anything, feel free. It's not so.
Well, we should look at them together. If we're going to travel together next year, then we should look together and make plans.
Ashley will jump up, grab the maps, and then
What have you done with the picture of your mother?
It's probably still wrapped up, standing in the corner. She is still unsure what to do with it. And she will carefully spread out the maps on the floor, just putting something at the edges that they are staying straight and flatten up and not just rolling back up. And then we will try to study on, like, we are here, and then we would be traveling like...
So basically what you realize is, regardless of how accurate those maps are, it's going to be a long journey. So you want to go through to Chrysaea, which means you have to go all the way south. And there are some places where people have made notes along the lines, there be dragons here. Maybe not dragons, but that there are some areas that are quite dangerous, especially the forests. But unfortunately, we'll have to go through them because that's the way the road will take you.
But at least we have the warning to be extra careful when we enter.
You have the warning to be extra careful. I mean, the biggest forest that is between you and Chrysaea is actually called Forest of the Hags. And this is the word that also means witch.
Witch. Yeah.
As well.
Not
so
good.
It can mean old woman, but it also means witch. So, and witches, as we know, are apprenticed to a special friend of yours, Samael, the god of the witches. So he may actually reside there.
Let's
Who
hope
knows?
not.
Let's hope not.
At least a witch I should be able to hit with my sword.
Yeah, unless she curses you first.
Depending on what kind of curse she picks. If she just curses me that I will never get children, so be it.
Yes, well, I mean, that might be in the offing. Yes, that is a curse that does exist.
I know. That would be the
Least of your problems?
least of my problems, to be honest. But let's just try not to angry any witch. And not get cursed at all. I feel cursed enough with that. I don't... And everything else that happened, I don't need more.
Do you feel it at all?
No.
No, that's a good thing. I was afraid it might burn or something.
If I wouldn't know it's there, I would never even
notice.
But, well, maybe it will just fade away. Because now I'm not interesting anymore. That would be nice.
Isn't that the truth?
Let's hope to that.
Mm-hmm. And, well, the evening passes. At some point, she decides to go to bed. You are knackered as well.
Yeah. I will probably go one round around our home, just checking again if the horses are fine, and just checking if I hear in all the wind any kind of wolves. And then, if I don't, I will go back inside, close the door, and go to bed.
You can bolt it from the inside, actually. Yeah. It has one of those bolts.
Yeah.
And Siobhan has fastened the wooden window closure, as it were. You've got only 2 windows. That makes sense. And they are fastened. Yeah, and then she goes to bed. She prays. She says her psalms, and then she goes to sleep. Do you want to do anything else? Because there's always light, because there's always a little fire going. So in theory, well, you don't really read, but you could do stuff. It's not completely dark.
Yeah, she would. I think after everything that happened and last night, we did not get any sleep. She will go to bed as well.
Okay. So the next morning, she's up before you. That's normal though, and she's making breakfast when there is a knock on the door.
I will go, and Aisling will carefully open the door, because during that day there were no peepholes in the door, so she will just open it up. We'll just see who's outside.
You see outside a young woman, girl, maybe older girl, 16 years old, maybe. You do know her. She is from the she's from the village. No, not a surprise there. And she has a black eye, and she's been crying. You can tell, and she says, "Is the sister there?
Morning.
I need to
Yes, come inside." And I will open the door and just let her inside, and we'll just call out to Siobhan who it is, because I should know the name.
You do recall that this girl is probably called Lina.
Okay.
You have seen her around, but you're not quite sure who she actually is. But you think that her name is Lina. Siobhan looks at her and notices the black eye, and she looks at you. And not like she thinks you gave it to her.
No, but Aisling would be like, I have no idea what happened.
And then she says, and she hands you a spoon, and she said, "Could you stir that for me?" And
sure. Maybe a cup of tea?
And she just nods at you, and she says, "Lina, what's going on?" And Lina looks at you, and she says, "Can I speak to you in private, sister?" And Siobhan says, "Let's step outside into the stable. There is room for 2 more." And she takes the girl with her, and they are gone for a while, like half an hour.
Not
Not
sure.
coming back?
I would wait that long. I will stir, I will prepare tea, and then I would probably step outside and would just call out to the stables. Ladies, you can go inside if you like. I will just look if our traps caught something. It's warmer there. Tea is ready.
And the door to the stables open, and it's Siobhan, and she leads Lina, who is crying her eyes out, into the cottage, and she just nods at you and says, and
I will just do what I said. I will walk towards, make my round alongside to see if I caught anything.
How long do you think this is going to take you?
At least an hour, I would guess.
Yeah. So we said you have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 catches. The last one was a 96. You didn't get anything there, but 4 out of 5. That's really good.
Nice.
And then you get back.
I would first walk towards the stable and make a noise that whoever is inside recognize I'm back.
And the door, you're really good at this, but obviously you know how Siobhan operates as well. You can see when you're standing in front of the stables that the door to the cottage opens, and Siobhan is standing there, and she's motioning towards you.
I will walk over to her.
And she says, Lina can't go home at the moment. We will have to figure something out.
Well, she can stay with us. We will have space for one more in there.
I know. It's a bit of a problem. Let's take a walk. She's okay. She's resting.
Okay. Let me just quickly...
you've been successful. Very good.
You can help me to set up the snares again. I can...
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
I will just hang... Would you hang the rabbits outside and leave the house to just attract wolves?
That's a good question. You can roll for this, because I don't know the answer, but I suppose you would know. I mean, I think you would. I don't know what the answer is. Probably not, because that could be dangerous.
I could imagine, that it's too dangerous. And as long as you're working on the meat, that you do it outside is fine. So she would just probably put the rabbits carefully inside, not waking up, just carefully putting them in the corner, closing the door again. And then would walk with Siobhan. So what happened to her?
I would say many things.
Who happened to her is probably rather the question.
That was her dad. Turns out she's pregnant.
Usually that's a good thing.
Turns out he is a fugitive who lives up there, and she motions to one of the mountain ranges to the north. Well, what can I say? The two of them are madly in love, but her father will hear nothing of it. He has other plans.
Oh, how I hate this. It's her life.
Yeah, and worse still, he got injured in a wolf attack. He's somewhere up there. He needs help.
You mean her love
boyfriend?
Not... Okay.
Her father is fine. He's in the village. He may need your help as well, though, because that isn't on.
I hate when they think just slapping a girl is the right thing to do.
I
Does she
know.
have a rough idea where up there he is?
Well, he seems to be the perfect gentleman. He never really took her up there, but always somewhere where it was closer and more convenient and less dangerous. So no. Well, she has a vague idea. I think I know where it is. You know the caves where you went egg stealing?
Yep.
Sounds like that.
Well, it's not the worst place to hide at the moment.
No, it's not the worst place to hide, but it's very difficult to get to in this weather, especially if there are wolves around. And I'm not sure that we can tell the villagers because, her father, Sean Org, he's important. People look up to him. If he says no, then people might not go. It might have to be you and me.
No, it's just me, because you need to take care of her. She can't go back.
You need me to go up with you because he's up there and he is terribly hurt. He needs a healer. There is nothing you can do.
I can throw him on a horse and bring him back to you.
You know that you can only... And you're going to do what? Carry him off the mountain till you reach the horses?
Yes.
You're crazy.
It will take forever to heal him. It's much easier to bring him down here, and here you can give him proper healing.
You know how I hate when you do this?
Yes. But
you're going to do it anyway.
It's just the logic to be. If we leave her here alone, she might not be here when we get back.
What do you expect me to do? Face down her father? Well, then again, I don't think he would touch a priestess.
Exactly. The village would hate him if he touched you. And you will be stern enough to tell him he's not allowed to enter the house. The stable can wait a few days. And I will be quick on the horse.
But you have to be careful.
I'm planning to come back in one piece with a young man.
His name's Cormac. His name's Cormac.
Well, I need at least some kind of a description. And
I'm pretty sure he's the only one who's up there.
Yeah, then
she laughs at you. And she says, no. I mean, listening to her, he is every man you ever wanted to love. Tall, dark, handsome, blue eyes.
Good.
Which, incidentally, is also what Sarah's looked like. Tall, dark, handsome, blue eyes.
Great, but there are a few more out here.
Yeah, so... no, but it's like really this typical song description of the perfect Highland lover. They're all tall, dark, handsome, and have blue eyes. But in his case, he may actually have blue eyes. I'm not so sure. But he's probably the only one who's...
Why is he...
we will have to speak to her father.
The thing is, we found a place here. Why is he not allowed to get down here and start something? We can help him to set up a home. Idea.
She hasn't told me yet. I don't know what he's run away from.
I need to know.
Then you will have to ask her. I don't know.
Let's see. Just out of game, would I have an idea on how long it would take me to get up there?
Well, you're going to have to ride not that long, maybe 2 hours, but then it's really like... so basically, you would then have to leave the horses or the horse, and then you would have to walk.
Uh-huh.
And at the moment, at the beginning, it's not climbing, but it's too steep to take a horse.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, you did have to kind of climb a little. I mean, considering that he's hurt, it can't have been that difficult to climb. You would assume getting there, probably for you in this weather, 4 hours, including the 2-hour horse trip. Bringing him down might be quite difficult, though, because you will have to probably upside him somehow. Because depending on how hurt he is, he may not be able to walk much. And climb...
We will see.
Yeah.
I can also see if I can get him on my back.
Mm-hmm.
Even tie him there, and then I can move downwards with him. But
whatever you do, please be careful, because I don't want to heal 3 people.
Yeah, as I said, I'm planning to come back on one piece, but it's too late to start now. I would be out there in the middle of night, so tomorrow morning with first sunlight, or probably a little bit before sunlight, because the beginning is quite easy. I will go out. So prepping tonight, we can talk to the girl. I can talk to the girl. As I said, I'm fine that she's staying with us. And tomorrow morning I will take Storm and we will be off, and I will try to be back before the evening.
Yeah. And so basically you try to get her to work on the snares.
Yep.
Let's see how she fares. She's unskilled, but she will try her ability. Her dexterity. Well, the first one doesn't look so bad.
That's quite good already. You just need to tie it a bit more here and hide it a little bit more, and then it's perfect.
Okay, so she's quite happy about this, so she keeps working on this. And yeah, let's see. Oh wow! She rolled a 17, and she gets +3 on fastening ropes. So that's a 20. She manages.
Well, see,
Way to go, Siobhan!
Yeah, you know how to do it.
And she actually got a 17, which means that she can get this at a minus when she buys it. Okay, cool. That's super. So she is actually quite smug.
All rightful so.
And yeah, and then you return home.
Yep.
And Lina is sitting by the fire. She is you can tell she really feels sorry for herself, and she does look a mess. She has more bruises that you can see now. So he didn't just slap her once. It was obviously a little bit of a more physical discussion that he had with his daughter. As you walk in, she jumps up, and you obviously gave her a fright.
You are safe here. Relax. We never properly met. I'm Aisling, and she will just hold out the hand.
She shakes your hand a little bit timidly.
Welcome to
Lina.
our home.
The sister said I could stay.
Yes.
But I can go if...
No. You're welcome. It's a safe place here. It was our safe place to begin with, and we are happy to share with you. Also, I will go out tomorrow morning to get... How was his name?
Cormac.
Cormac. To find Cormac and bring him down here so we can get him healed up.
You're going alone?
Well, we can't leave you alone here. Siobhan will look out for you. You both can figure out what to do with all the rabbits.
She feels happy about this because this is something she can do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because I am a horrible cook. And
she doesn't know how to react to this. She's like...
Then we will figure out something. The one question I would be curious, why is he up there and not in the village? Because if you two want to have a family and convince your father, him having a nice little house, even if it's small like this, would be a good step.
She's conflicted.
I just want to help and figure out how we can make this work for you and Cormac. Because that is not right.
He's a cattle thief. And cattle thief is terrible.
Well, then his job will be to make it right. Work hard.
But how can he? My father sent him away.
Giving up is not the option.
She looks at you and then she says, "You don't know my father."
Well, I know a bit, and that's something I'm not really respecting, because you don't treat your kids like he treats you.
She starts crying again.
I will just put my hand on her shoulder, like, there.
Yeah, your interpersonal skills are not your strong suit.
I know it's winter at the moment. It's harsh to start something, but definitely in springtime we can organize that. We can set up or help him to set up a house, and maybe we can get him, maybe, I don't know, some sheep or goats, and he can pay back on what he stole, on top of maybe some additional things.
But that's not the only problem.
What else did he do?
My father has made arrangements for me to get married.
Why do fathers always think they know best?
And he's already paid. So in your culture, the father of the bride pays the family that she's going to marry into.
Then it seems like we need to figure out if the option is that you run away with Cormac and find a new place.
She looks at you completely shocked.
There are a lot of places out there.
Siobhan looks at you and shakes her head a little.
Aisling is just going through options and seeing how the reaction is.
Yeah, Aisling is being very pragmatic, but Aisling is also somebody who turned down the rule of the land because, hey, wasn't what she wanted at the time. And Siobhan says, well, maybe, Lina, you need to lie down and we will have dinner later.
The thing is, we don't have to solve this today or tomorrow.
Yeah, Lina looks pretty exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And basically she lies down and Siobhan looks at you and she says,
that will not be easy.
Well, but then again,
why did he steal? Oh, it's one of the worst things to do.
Yes, it's right up there with murder. Mm-hmm. And it is right up there with murder. Hot-headed.
Honestly, the best thing would be for them to start over new somewhere else.
And she looks around and she says, for lots of people, this is the somewhere else.
True.
I just wonder how they met in the first place.
Maybe she was out there.
And he just walked into her life?
Happens.
It's true, I suppose.
Maybe she stopped him stealing even more.
So you think it's a good thing?
Well, stopping someone to steal?
I just hope that the two of them are right for each other. Otherwise, this is going to end terribly.
Well, first of all, I will find him and we will patch him up, because no one deserves to die to wolves out there in the middle of nothing. Then we can talk to him and get a feeling as well on how he really is without the pink, happy love eyes in between. If he's a decent, good guy, we will...
Whatever you do, can you please not scare him even more?
If saving him is scaring him off, I can't help him.
Ash.
I will just talk to him and see what we can do. And if honestly, he's worth doing it. Because I am kind of with the village people. You don't steal or murder if you're not in danger. And a cow, whatever it was, can't be dangerous to you that you had to grab it. I hope he was just very desperate and hungry.
I know.
Let's see, one step after the other. First, I need to find him. Then, he needs to be alive.
On that note, I'm going to give you a couple of herbs. When you see him, please ask if he's in pain. If he is, but only if he says yes, give them to him. They will make him sleepy.
Good.
But it will mean more work for you, because you won't be able to walk.
That's fine. Depending on how hurt he is, he probably won't be able to walk.
I still think I should come. But I know what you're going to say.
If
Debate's
you
over.
think the risk of leaving her here alone is
Do you
fine,
think her father would really make the trip out here and try to find her?
he will pay someone to go out here and grab her. He knows people. He probably doesn't even have to pay. He just needs to pull a string.
All right, I'll stay.
I will be quick.
More importantly, be careful.
I'm too angry. If a wolf steps inside my way, it will not be fun for them.
Yes. Anger isn't always the best advisor, though.
I know, especially not in fighting.
We talked about this.
Yes, and I understand. It will be fine. I will just be quick up there. I hope I can find him quickly enough and he's not hiding and not saying anything. And I will be back with him and then the work starts for you.
Good. And now I think you should have something, and I will prepare something. I will get up with you and I will make sure that you have enough to feed yourself and him. He may need food when you find him.
A bit of bread should be fine. It's the easiest thing to transport, maybe a little. Honestly, meat will just attract the wolves. Bread is probably the best idea. Maybe an apple.
I'll make bread.
We still have bread left over.
Yeah, I'll still make some more because it'll just go off. The flour will go off. So she starts making bread again. And then you have your evening meal. Lina keeps away from you. She tries to not sit next to you, which is a bit difficult because you only have 3 seats.
Aisling will be just friendly. I could also imagine Aisling preparing some of the meat to be dried. And will prepare, because that is something she knows. She's bad in cooking and herbs and things like that. It's
but
like,
that
oh
is,
boy.
yeah.
But at least drying some meat because it will hold up longer.
So, Lina is actually really tired, probably less physically so than mentally, and goes to bed really early. Siobhan does what she always does. She prays. And what do you do?
I would probably put everything together I will need for tomorrow morning. So looking that I have enough arrows, a bow, a rope, because she still has the idea that she probably then needs to get him on her back and see if she can keep him there while climbing down.
Yeah.
And if there's still a little bit of time, she would start to have a look at one of the books, at least starting. But she would try to get early sleep as well, because she will get up before sunrise.
Okay. So essentially the book, well, she took quite a lot of books. I would say she took about 7. And they are all stories or legends. But then you got the travelogue.
The travelogue would be the one she would look at.
Okay, so the travelogue, as you were told, was written by this member of the church who went north and then he went east, and he visited the lands of Rawindra, which he calls I forget what he called that, and then there is Kantaipan, which is essentially the land of the rising sun. So the thing is, you're not so good at reading, actually. So the two of you will actually read them together. And what you learn... Yeah.
Reading them together, Aisling then would put it off. She would try to have a look on her own, because if we read them together, we will have to talk about it, and she doesn't want to share with the girl. That's okay. So it would be the more like flipping through, just seeing if there are words sticking out.
Yeah, there are. So essentially, he was interested in their gods and their demons. And it turns out that in both lands, they are very different. In Rawindra, they have, he says that they have 1 million gods and 1 million demons walking around. And he uses a word that you've never heard before. It's the word avatar.
Okay.
And from what you can gather, it probably means that the gods themselves walk the earth, which is something you don't know. Nobody's ever told you that Ilator would walk around amongst you. That's really strange. You find that weird. And he also tells in Rawindra of things that... And he also talks of something that you find really strange. Almost of more than human-sized, and you don't... It looks like it's the word for salamander. Like more than human-sized, and they seem to live there. Or maybe you're reading this wrong.
I think this little thing, she would then just walk or go over to Siobhan, just sit next to her and be just in a quiet voice like, am I reading that right?
She takes a look and she says, oh. Yes, look, it says here that they nest. And yes, you are reading this right.
That is not... Well, it's good to know that I'm reading right, but... Oh boy. Okay. We will have to go through this in a few days in peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. Be a lot of weird stuff in here.
It seems to be very different from our home.
Yes. I'm not sure. Well, I'm curious, but it would be nice to just see it from afar.
Oh, look. Oh.
Just trying to see what she's looking at.
And I found... Oh, he's got terrible handwriting, like yours. And I found a gate to the world of demons.
That I definitely don't want to find.
Yes, especially you.
Well, I could walk in there and give him my peace of mind again. But no! It was a joke. We will not go there.
Good. Oh, but look! And she draws your attention to a drawing. What is that? And she spells it out. Elephantos. So it's essentially a drawing of an elephant with a man riding it.
That looks like a darn big animal.
It's taller than you are. It's taller than Storm.
Look at these teeth thingy.
I know. That I would like to see. If somebody's riding it, it means it's domesticated.
Well, it looks like a nice way to travel. You have a nice view up there, and it's...
But you can also fall very far.
But as big as it is, it must be fast.
I don't know, maybe.
Although the problem is how big it is, it needs a lot of food, I guess, as well.
And I wonder what they eat. With those teeth?
Oh, good question. Well, you can easily kill animals with it.
Uh-huh.
As you say, the only nice thing to see is someone is sitting on top of it. So, as you say, it can be domesticated.
I mean, it does say that those tall salamanders eat meat and human flesh.
Human flesh.
They are dangerous.
They are.
Do me a favor, don't try to hunt them when we go there, please. Because that sounds dangerous.
I'm not out there to do dangerous things. We can carefully put on the wish list to see, and you know, the thing with the big ears, and
Elephantos.
at least from farther away. Because it's big enough, you don't have to stand in front of it. Might be interesting.
But you've come a long way reading. Hey, I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm trying. I think it would be helpful to at least roughly read a little bit. Even though it's quite exhausting, to be honest.
She smiles. I know. It's like snaring.
Practice seemed to be the magical word.
Practice is the magic word. But now you should really
Yeah.
go and get some rest.
I'll
You'll
get
have a
some
long day
sleep.
tomorrow. Okay. And now we're going to take a short break.
Perfect.
Okay, so it's the next morning. She's making breakfast. Lina is trying to be a shadow and is trying to keep away from you so that you don't step on her because she's kind of like mouse-like a little bit. She is, she's probably also not the most how shall we say, robust, psychologically speaking. And you get on Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And you ride out. It's good that it's not snowing and it's actually a bright day, so probably the weather will hold, which is good because if you're going to climb, then so I suppose that you're bringing some rope,
a little bit of food but no meat, so a bit of bread, and one apple if we still have one,
Okay.
Obviously a bow, arrow, and
Do you take a sword?
I will probably have my sword with me because
The long one or the two-handed?
The long one.
The long sword, okay.
And just in case, because if a lot of wolves are nearby, the arrow and bow might not be feasible, so...
Okay. So you ride to presumably where you think this whole thing it has gone down, and you approach the foothills, and you know that there is then a space where you need to tie off Stodum so that he's kind of secure. If there are wolves in the area, there are some trees, so you can tie him off there. And then it's really a hike up the mountain.
Yeah.
Okay, so... you can now make a check. Roll a d20 and add your knowledge animals to it, or knowledge nature. Which one is better for you? They're the same, so either one is fine. It's always +8 for you.
Is it Naturkunde or would it be survival?
Well, you
Because
can.
I
Oh,
also,
yeah, take
ich habe
survival. Yeah,
Überleben, so survival
yeah, take
might be the
survival.
one.
That sounds good. Yeah.
This game, or this rolling thing, is not my friend.
What did you roll?
I rolled it. How is it that bad? I rolled it 10.
Then it's but then it's you have a 10 in there, then you get +10, so it's 20.
Then it should be a success.
It should.
It showed not a success.
Did it tell you what you rolled?
A 10. And I
Oh,
have
then
a
it's
+10, so it should be. And it showed 20, but it showed if it's success, it's green, and if not, it's gray. And it was gray, which is weird. But
that is weird.
okay.
That is strange, yeah, because yeah. Okay, well, if you rolled a 10, then that's it. So
It would be a success.
Yeah. Okay, so you do find traces of wolves, and there are plenty. You're looking at a wolf pack.
Right.
And you know that wolves in this area usually have a pack of around 5.
I also know wolves don't like loud and noisy things. So I will be loud. I will probably sing very crookedly but loud and move forward.
Okay, so you move forward. You guess that out of the corner of your eyes, you see wolf mothers taking their cubs and holding their ears shut because this is terrible. You know, you're a walking bagpipe. You have no voice whatsoever. Siobhan keeps telling you have no ear either. Yes, let's just hope that you're not launching an avalanche with this.
Well, the mountains shouldn't be so. Well, snow. Nevertheless, we will see, but better than wolves.
You make a lot of noise. Okay. Oh my god. There goes my plan of attacking you with a wolf pack because they will not attack. This is like a psychological weapon.
You can see if they are annoyed enough to want to stop me.
Yeah, you probably woke up Grandma Wolf and she's sending her minions. Anyway, so you reach the part of the mountain where you need to climb, and now you really need to climb. And you need to roll because this is going to be difficult. But I'm going to give you a +2 if you're going to use your rope.
I want to. Okay, so climbing, right? I'm too lazy to calculate. Come on.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 6. +12 +1 is not enough.
Oh, it is, because that's 19. You get a +2 from me, so it's 21.
Then it's true. Then we barely make it.
Well, a 20 is all you need. So you basically do climb up, but it is going to be quite difficult, and you are quite exhausted when you get there, but that's fine. So you make it up onto the ledge, and and the one leg, and then the other, and you get up, you press up, and there stands not a wolf, but a bear.
Great. Can I have my wolves, please?
And you know that they usually spend the winter in hibernation.
Why is it out here? That's not a good sign.
Well, he looks at you and
I will move very
and he growls.
slowly. Stop moving.
Okay. He begins to sniff.
Can I pull out the apple out of my pocket and I would loop it over to the side next to him. Maybe he can sniff it out.
Oh, that's that's again something that I didn't anticipate.
I guess he's hungry because he hasn't eaten in a while.
Okay. So so you basically take that that thing and you throw it. Let's see what it does.
My main idea is to get it distracted that it goes for the apple, and I will carefully try to circle around if I can.
Yes, it does. It does look towards where you threw the apple.
Question is, does it follow?
It sniffs, and let's see if you're lucky. It turns back to you and eyes you and sniffs you. And it lifts a paw. It's got a huge paw. This creature is huge. It's standing up, it's as tall as you are, but it's a lot wider.
It probably is even taller than I am.
It says here Schulterhöhe 130 centimeter. So when he gets up, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
well,
he should
yeah,
be
a little bit. Yeah, he's probably over 2 feet,
Yeah,
2
he
meters
should be
tall.
over
Yeah,
2 meters.
yeah. So he looks at you.
I will stand up to my full height, making myself a little bit bigger even, and just growl back.
Okay. Nice one. Let's see if he's intimidated.
And she would also whisper, I really don't want to hurt you. Even though she knows he doesn't understand her.
He looks at you. He sniffs more. And you notice that he seems to be sniffing the bread.
She will take out the bread. She will throw it in the other direction, not towards the apple, the other direction. She would loop it over there, because now her idea is to circle around that way, grab the apple, and move on if possible.
And you are very lucky. I rolled a 0-8 on your luck. He takes the bait. He gets down on his 4 paws again and trudges towards where you threw the bread.
I will relax and
to
will
eat it.
Slowly walk towards the apple and pick it up, clean it, put it in my pocket, turn around again towards the bear.
The bear is
and we'll move on.
Eating the food that you threw him, the bread, and he ignores you completely.
Good. Now I need to get out this evening because I can't survive based on that.
And you basically followed the path further up, and you do come to where the caves are. So basically it's it's like a path that winds up, like so. And there you can see traces of blood. So it looks like someone bled. Not too much. It's not like you think that somebody bled out.
Okay.
But there are traces of blood in the snow.
I will try to follow it a bit, but then I would start to call out, Cormac, I'm here to help.
And you hear a very faint voice saying, "Yes, I'm over here. I'm in the cave."
Do I get the direction of which cave?
Yeah, it's not a problem. You can tell. It's and the blood spots also kind of give it away. So you walk in, and It's he may not be strong, but he was definitely smart. The cave is quite the cave entrance is quite narrow, so no bear would pass through here, and wolves would also find it very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of like move
Squeeze.
through sideways, and you see a young man. Well, I mean, to you he's just a boy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not very old either, so
Well, I mean, he is maybe 16.
okay.
So
Yeah.
to you he's a boy.
But similar age than Lina, right? She
Yeah.
would be the same age around.
Yeah,
Okay.
you see that it's going to be a couple of winters before this one grows a beard. He's absolutely clean. He is dark-haired. He does have blue eyes. He's not that tall. He's taller than Lina, but you know, he's not very tall. And he's kind of thin. So he weighs next to nothing. He's a boy. He's not even grown into his muscles yet. So he looks quite worn, and you can see that he's got a scratch here across his chest, and his shiv
Mm-hmm.
is torn open, and he has been bleeding, and he's very, very pale, possibly feverish as well.
I will carefully step closer, just kneeling down next to him. I'm Ashling. Luna is sending me. I'll grab you.
Lina,
I will bring you down and bring you to a healer, and then you can see Luna as well.
but there are wolves out there, and I think I heard a bear.
Yeah, I met Mr. Bear. I shared my food with him. Luckily, he was just hungry.
Yes, maybe we're on the menu next.
Let's hope he is tired enough to go back to sleep after a snack. Because he should be sleeping, he shouldn't be out here. And for the wolves, we just have to see how are you feeling? I would put my hand on his head to see if
He's
it's
got a
really...
very hot forehead. He's feverish, yeah.
The thing is, the wound, is it still open or is it kind of dried up?
No, it's dried up, and you can see the crust that you see
Yeah.
over wounds, yeah.
How bad does it hurt?
He tries to answer, and then he starts coughing, and he coughs up a little bit of blood.
Great. Okay, that's enough for me. I will give you a little bit, see if you can eat. I will cut a little bit off the apple, just a tiny bit, and give it to him.
He does,
see.
and what you notice is he's got very dry lips.
Yeah.
So you might want to give him some water.
I would also give him, because I would have at least a little bit of water with me, I would give some water as well.
That he gulps down very, very greedily.
I will slow him down, slowly.
And then he tries the apple again, and then you can see that he can actually chew it. Probably his mouth was so dry that he couldn't even have produce enough saliva to make it work. And then he says, "But how? I'm not sure if I can walk."
I suspect you can't. So we both have to work together. First, I will feed him a little bit more of the apple, and we'll pack up the rest. Probably eat a bit of it myself, and let's see if we can make something that I can carry on my back. And then we will go down below. I have a horse, so we don't have to walk the whole way.
All right. Okay. So he tries to get up, and with your help, he can.
How does he look? Does he look really like in pain? I'm still hesitant about the herbs, because it would be easier if he's clear-minded and not tired and can work with me.
I mean, he is in pain, but you don't think that he's in so much pain that he can't function.
Okay.
So, yeah.
If the pain gets worse, I have some herbs with me, but you will get sleepy. So, just in case. say something. We have something here.
Yeah, will do.
And
You know that if he's anything like you think he is, he will not say anything because he's just like you.
yeah, but then
So
have
be
to
it.
suffer through it.
Yeah.
So I would try to carry him basically like you would carry kids, that you have the legs between your arms
Yeah.
and have him here, and using the rope to strap him in, kind of like a backpack.
Yeah.
That in case he slumps down, that he doesn't have to really, that I'm not losing him completely. And it's not comfortable, but at least it kind of works. And the rope is not on his wound, it's around his shoulders and a bit around his legs. So
that sounds like a really good plan. So you basically make this. So I would say give me a strength check to see how you're doing.
let's see.
I think strength is one of your bestest suits, as it were.
Yes, I easily make it.
Excellent. Okay. So you carry him easily. I mean, considering everything, this is actually an easy task for you. It works really well.
Also, I will put him on my back when we're outside. I will try to, because if he's on my back, I will not be able to get outside.
No, you won't.
So we would do it in front of the cave. And well, walking on, clearly I would hope that the bear is gone.
The bear is gone.
Okay.
But you also see not a single breadcrumb. He's been very careful.
And then I will move on and try to climb down. And when we get near the wolves, it would be loud singing again.
You hear some howling in the distance.
Cormac probably is deaf by now, but hey.
If he was trying to sleep or pass out, there's no chance because he has to listen to you. But I think he's more than grateful. You make it safely to the horse.
Yeah.
So I suppose you put him on and then climb up or something.
Yeah, I would put him on the horse and I will climb behind him, that I can hold him, and then, well, I will probably not as quick we were quicker on the way here, but back we need to be careful. We will ride towards home.
And you do arrive after sundown, obviously, because that took a while.
Yeah.
You arrive, you take him inside. I
will probably call out when we are getting close. I would just call for Siobhan.
Yeah, she doesn't hear anything. It's like, no, she's probably singing or something.
I could also call out for Lina as a second option with a loud whistle.
No.
Useless!
Yeah, they are totally useless. You arrive.
Yeah. I will carefully try to get him off the horse.
You manage. He does try and be helpful by not making himself as heavy as a sack. And since he is conscious, he does have some self-control over his motions, so it's okay. You bring him inside, and Siobhan has not been idle. She has been preparing. She's boiled water to boil bandages. And you can also smell as you walk in that the whole cottage is permeated by a fragrance. She has put in some herbs, probably to wash wounds or something, some cleansing ointments, and the whole cottage smells. It's the equivalent of Vic Vaporub.
Okay. So my sinuses will be free.
Yeah, your sinuses will be fine. And and I suppose you take care of the horse.
Yeah, I will just put him wherever we can lay him down. Is Luna still there as well?
Lina is still there. Lina runs towards him, kisses him. He tries to be brave. He fails miserably. He does notice the black eye and starts to... but his physical strength won't let him do much about it.
I think Ashling will be like one thing after the other. First, you need to get well, young man. And I will just lay him down carefully. I will just tell Siobhan I didn't give him anything of the herbs, and we'll give her the herbs back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he definitely needs more water to drink, and maybe a bit more. I gave him a bit of an apple and some water, but...
That's good.
He's running a high fever, as it seems. But hey, he's awake and conscious. That's already quite surprising.
Yeah, and he recognizes people.
Yeah, and he coughed up blood, just in case you want to know.
Thank you. Thanks, that's very helpful. And she starts working on him. I suppose you'd look after the horse.
Yeah. I will be outside as long as I can to be out of the way.
And so you come back, and he is, as it were, resting comfortably. Lina is crying her eyes out again.
Aisling is like, why? He's alive and in one piece. Why? But she's not saying anything. She's just a bit weirded out and just...
Yeah. She is not like you.
No, she's also not like Siobhan. Siobhan would not be sitting there crying.
No, and Siobhan looks at you and she says, he will be all right. It will be a couple of days, but he will make it. But he can't move. We will have to keep him. So and then she looks up, and this is filling up pretty quickly.
Well, we can feel like the horses outside are feeling cozied up.
Yes. And Lina comes towards you, and she takes your hands, and she says, "Thank you so much for bringing him home. I don't even know how to repay you. He's alive. And the sister says he'll make it. It's all because of you."
Well, and because of him, he's a smart one. He chose a very good hiding place.
Yes. He's not only smart, he's also really kind.
Well, we will have to see about that. Curious to know more about him. Aisling is she's still skeptical on how to solve this.
Siobhan just stands there and looks at you.
But first of all, let's see that we can get him up in one piece again, and let's give you time to heal as well.
But I should really get back, because my father is probably already sending out people to try and look for me. If he comes here?
If you want, we can send out a message that you are with the healer, and you will return when you're healed. That gives you time.
She thinks about it, and Siobhan looks at you and says, "I think that might be a good idea."
I can ride into town tomorrow morning and hand out the message. You will be careful messing with the sister that is loved by the whole village. And at least he knows you are safe, to be honest. I understand that he's panicky that you ran off into the wild, maybe. At least he knows you're safe and sound.
Yeah, and she goes back to where Cormac sits and lies, and she puts his head in her lap, and she talks to him. He doesn't really get much of what she's saying, because he's pretty much out of it, but and Siobhan says, "Well, I gave him something. He needs to rest, and he needs to get the fever down. But he'll make it."
Good.
You were in time, but probably just about one more day.
Well, as I said, at least he was also clever enough to hide well, that the wolves or the bear could not get to him.
So let's see what happened to you. Did you fall off the horse? Did somebody bite you?
Nothing.
You want me to believe that?
Well, made it there. On the way, I saw a lot of wolf traces, so my instinct said be loud and annoying, because wolves are not keen on that. So I'm good in singing now. Well, practiced. Good is probably the wrong word. So I took all my singing songs that I know, and they left me alone. And then further up near the cave, I met a bear, quite surprisingly. They shouldn't be out now. And I
You
was
met a bear.
lucky that he was up for a snack in form of your lovely bread.
You met a bear and fed it bread and it left you alone.
It was worth a try.
So you're not only a demon master, but a beast master as well.
I will take that. It's easier if animals don't attack you. I just try to give the sense of, I don't want to hurt you, you don't want to hurt me, I guess you're hungry. Please have some food.
Then she looks and she says, Aisling, this means you haven't eaten anything since breakfast. You sit down right now. And no discussion.
I add some of the apple.
Yes, you sit down now and you get something to eat.
I will just sit down cross-legged.
Yeah.
Probably pulling out the rest of the apple out of my pocket and start nibbling on it.
I so understand what Tabitha was telling me. You were a handful as a child. Even before I met you, you were a handful.
Is that surprising?
No, it's not. And now, fewer words from you, more eating. And she puts half a loaf of bread in front of you and a good bowl of stew. Mm-hmm. Quite a lot, actually. And you eat this.
Good. I know, that's a sign that they did not use then, but
yeah, but
that's basically the sign.
They probably did some form of salute anyway. But
no idea.
Like this. Yeah, but yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
You don't have to yell.
You haven't even heard me start yet. You know that. If I want to yell, they will hear me in the village.
I know that you can do that. The question is, have you eaten? I highly doubt it. Could you please get yourself something, sit down and eat with me?
All right. But I have had lunch. And it was more than just a quarter of an apple, because she looks at the apple that you still have, just like, yeah, well, and you probably fed some of it to the young lad, didn't you?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah, well.
But thank you for cooking.
Well, I hope you enjoyed. Lina did most of it, because I was busy preparing for him, but, it was good that we took the time as well. So and then
sniffing and tasting.
It's not as good as Siobhan's.
Okay, but it's okay.
It's okay. It tastes fresh. It tastes, so there is nothing, but it's like, when Siobhan does it, there is, I don't know, she just, maybe it's her goddess that helps.
Still, because honestly, yes, I'm hungry. I will dig in. Mm-hmm. And in between be just towards Lina. Thank you, it's really tasty.
She beams at you.
And probably whispering to Siobhan, not as good as yours, but good.
Siobhan smiles.
And I will finish the plate and eat the bread.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna go into town tomorrow and talk to her father?
Yeah, maybe I should get some herbs to calm my nerves, because I'm not sure how well I will behave when he's not behaving. But I will try the nice way first. If he's...
Can you not just imagine that he's some form of bear? Because you seem to be doing so well with animals.
But if a bear would attack me, I would attack back. That's okay.
I highly doubt he will touch you, but... Well, if he does try, you have my blessing.
Well,
because you don't want me to talk to him after he's attacked you.
I will try and be nice first. Just giving him the message. His daughter is safe. She's with the healer. With a long pause and a very stern and angry look at him. And that she will return when time is right. And let's see what he says.
Remember, deep breaths, Aisling.
Mm-hmm.
Deep breaths.
Okay. You mean this counting to 3 before reacting?
Maybe 10.
That is quite long. Someone can murder me while I count to 10.
Don't always assume the worst, Aisling. Don't always assume the worst.
Have you seen her? I am assuming the worst. He's not respectful. Definitely not to old women.
Well, she is his daughter. She is his. You know that.
I hate this idea of she belongs him. She's not a piece of furniture.
No, she's not. But if it wasn't for the church... You know, I'm an orphan. They would have just sold me to anyone. Your father would have sold me to anyone.
I know.
Because I was rightfully his once my father was dead.
Again, I have a problem with the idea that a person belongs to another person. But
I know you do.
I'm free as a bird now. So I'm belonging to no one.
But yourself.
Yes, and the good thing is, you kind of do as well, except your church deity thingy, but I think that is not the worst thing to be.
Well, let's put it this way. The last time my goddess spoke to me, she wasn't telling me that she was going to sell me to anyone. I feel pretty safe.
Yeah, I think that's a good one to belong to. But, yeah.
She did warn me of you, though. That Aisling, she said, is not a good influence.
I showed you how to put snares up to survive. I think that's a good influence. Well, Rabbit would disagree, but...
Oh, we have to check them tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
Because I do want to know if the one that I wrought, and I did so well too, if I caught anything in it.
We will check them tomorrow. Is there anything you need from the village?
Well, I mean, we do have some leather. If you could exchange it for any kind of food. I mean, even flour. Anything.
If I can get anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then she does what she always does. She prays.
I will probably not even look in any book. I will just roll out. Just roll up and be out for sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she takes a little longer, as usual. Talks to her goddess, asking for a sign. Maybe one is forthcoming. If she does reply, you don't hear anything. And then she goes to bed as well. It's now really tight in that place. So you've probably... I mean, she has placed him in the bed. So there's the floor for the two of you. And then, she goes to sleep as well. Next morning, Lina is making tea as you wake up. You do feel a little bit in the shoulders, but other than that, you are fine.
That is most important. I will, in a low voice, say good morning, not to startle her.
To Lina.
With a smile.
Lina flushes and turns red. She says, "Did I wake you? I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry."
All good. It smells nice. Tea is a good smell in the morning.
Yeah, it's tea, and I'm also making some porridge.
That sounds like a good start to the day.
Yes.
How is he doing?
He slept like a light out. He slept really deeply. I think that's a good thing. The sister just looked at him earlier and she said that the fever had gone down.
That's good.
I think that's also a good thing. She's outside.
I am glad
she told me to tell you.
In time.
We can never repay you this.
We will have to talk about that.
I have no money.
I don't need money. But we need to figure out how this moves on. As I said, it's not urgent that we need to find it out today, but in a few days we need to make a plan how to move on. For you, the little ones, and his sake.
She looks at you and then she looks to where he's lying. She says, he doesn't know yet.
Well, give him maybe 1 or 2 days to get his strength back, but then you should tell him. He needs to know all information to make a decision together with you.
Oh, the sister said to meet her outside.
Okay.
You open the door.
Yeah, I will open the door, stretch, big yawn.
A big yawn.
Mhm.
And you are hit square in the face with a snowball. She rolled a 3. And she laughs. You can tell she's like,
She
I didn't mean to
will
hit you in
just
the face.
eye
I'm so
her.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
And will be like, you have to pay for that, young lady. And she will go into sprint. She will try to basically push
she tries to
Siobhan
run
into
away.
the snow and just put snow into the
Yeah,
neck.
that is not a problem because we can
Mhm.
just topple her
Yep.
because she's I mean, actually she's quite strong. She's strength 90, but she is so surprised that she hit you square in the face that she is laughing. That she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, that's not working like that. You need to get some snow as well. And
yeah, so she is soapy off snow,
Yep.
completely soaked, and she's like, but it was worth it.
It was. And
It was worth
I'm
it.
holding up out the hand to pull her up.
Yeah, and she lets herself be pulled up, and she says, "Well, there's she's making breakfast.
He's doing better, as I heard.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
He is. Yeah, I think in a couple of days he will be walking around. I mean, it will be a while before he can steal cattle again, but that's a good thing. But he will be able to walk around, and yeah, and then we will have to figure out what we do."
Yeah, I just told Luna that maybe not today, but in 1 or 2 days she should tell him the truth. He should know.
Know what?
That she's pregnant?
He doesn't know?
No.
What if he sends her away?
Then it's his decision, and she must decide what to do without him.
You know that she will never be able to marry.
I hope that he's as good as she describes. Then he wants to be with her, have a family, and then we have a goal to work towards too.
About that, talk to her father and see what he says.
Oh, well. I'm quite sure he will not allow any kind of thing like that. But he will also have problems marrying her off when she's pregnant. That will cost him a lot.
If they do it quickly, then no one needs to know.
The question is, does he know she's pregnant?
I don't know. From what I could gather, she was just telling him that she wasn't going to marry what's his name because she was in love with someone else. That was the response. I don't know what he would have done if he knew that she was pregnant.
Probably kill her. Worst case. Best case, making sure the marriage is even quicker done. I will assume he does not know, and I will not tell him.
Either way, I'm not envying you your task.
I honestly just hope that he behaves, because I don't want to cause more trouble in the village. I like the village. I like the people around. Him,
They
not
like
so
you.
much. So, well, they like you. I am okay-ish to be around. I think most of them are still quite scared of me, but...
Well, I just tell them that you're nothing but a really big sheepdog inside.
Kind of fits. I can go with that.
Let's go and have some breakfast, and then you go into town.
Let's see if I can get something feasible for eating as well. I'll just clap her
there
on
is
the shoulder.
porridge.
But some more flour for more bread in the next day sounds
Yes.
like a good idea.
Mhm.
Maybe some more potatoes.
Whatever you can get.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Try to get some things that you like as well.
You
I know
know,
porridge isn't your...
I eat everything.
I know.
I'm fine. And porridge fills the stomach quite well, so...
It does, and it's good for you. So the porridge that you made is actually quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
You do miss honey because that's the way you sugar things, but in this area and at that time of year there is nothing, but it kind of and then do you take your horse or do you walk? I mean, walking is not a problem. You used to do that a lot anyway, so it's up to you if you want to bring the horse or if you want to just walk.
I think I will take the horse because I want to be back quick to start working on the stable. So I will just grab Storm. Honestly, I'm quite sure he's happy to move because squeezed in like this is not his goal. And I would also have Percy on a lead bound up that he can walk around a bit, not standing in the box the whole time. And I will ask Lina maybe to also look after Percy and maybe feed him a little bit. And then I will ride into town. I wanted to say into the village.
Yeah, I keep saying town as well. Yeah, it's homesteads. You ride into the village, and you know where he lives. He's actually one of the ones that lives close by the lake, by one of the two lakes that are in the area. You know the house. You kind of know him by sight as well. You have spoken to him a couple of times.
What was his name again?
Sean Og, which actually means young Sean, because he's also got a dad who's old Sean. And having said this, even young Sean is older than you are. Obviously, I mean, he's got a 16-year-old daughter, so he's probably in his 40s or something.
Yep.
Yeah. You arrive, and
I'll just bind the horse somewhere up front and knock at the door.
Sean Og is actually outside. He's outside. He's splitting wood with an axe.
Then I will stop nearby, get off the horse. Good morning.
He looks up, he puts down the axe, and he rests his arm, his elbow on the axe, and he says, "Oh, morning.
I have a message, just that you are not worrying about your daughter."
What are you saying, Aisling? What about my daughter?
She's with the healer.
She's with the... What does she need a healer for?
Well, that is something you know best, sir. She will stay with us until she's healed up.
What are you saying?
That she stays with us until she's healed up.
You tell that daughter of mine to make her way here post-haste. She has no business outside my house.
She's hurt. She needs healing.
She's not hurt. I saw her. She was fine when she left.
Well, the black eye and the bruises on around the neck tell me something else.
This is none of your business. How I treat...
She is guest in my house.
She is my daughter. She belongs to me, and you know this.
She's still guest in my house, and she seeks a healer.
She's getting married, and she needs to be where I am because her bridegroom is going to pick her up in 2 days.
I will deliver the message.
Do you want me to come up there and get her myself?
You know you will not enter the house. And leave in one piece if you storm the house.
Are you threatening me?
You are threatening my house and my safety. Also, I'm not sure how the village will react when you attack the sister.
The sister has nothing to do with this. This is just between you and me.
She is under our protection. She is our guest in our home. You know, also that kind of rule if you have a guest in your home. We are just keeping her safe. I will deliver the message back that you want her back home as soon as possible. Basically, as quick as now. And I will tell her that her future husband will be there in 2 days latest. The thing is, I'm not sure if he would be happy to marry someone who looks bruised and hit up. Maybe you can tell him a few more days would be more sensible. She had an accident. She should look pretty when she marries, shouldn't she?
Roll on PA for me. It's a 100. It's a D100.
Let me see. PA. It's not the best stat, but let's see.
Ooh!
I made it.
Okay. But he makes his willpower check as well.
Okay. Aisling is, by the way, in between 1, 2, breathe.
3.5. He is furious. You can tell. But you're also seeing that he's trying to control himself. He is intimidated by you. You've basically made a couple of very good arguments. Like, you know, what does she look like on her wedding day like that? That's, you know.
Also telling him that I know you hit her. And not only hitting her, he must have been here as well. It's not just one slap. That would have been easy.
Yeah.
It was more. And that is something... That's not the nicest thing to do.
And then, of course, the whole thing about, the laws of hospitality. She is a guest in your house. If she doesn't want to leave, it's very difficult for you to send her to a place that she doesn't want to go.
Yes.
Unless, of course, she terribly misbehaves in your own home. And thirdly, yes, it is also the home of the priestess. So between you looking like... the way you look, and her,
that cute little sheepdog.
Yes, the big cute little sheepdog, Shaggy as well, and so he is. But you can see that he is holding on to his axe handle, like he's now no longer just resting.
Mm-hmm.
He's now grabbing it, and you can see like his the knuckles are getting white.
I will deliver the message and. We'll see what she says. It's not my decision to do.
But it's also not your decision to keep her against her will.
I'm not keeping her against her will. That's the only promise swearing I can give her. She is a guest and she can stay if she wants to. If she wants to leave, she's free to leave.
Okay. So he doesn't answer to that. He just looks at you. He glares at you.
She will be with a big smile, very politely wishing him a nice rest of the day, and will just take Storm by the reins and just walk because she has things to trade.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically you know who to trade with. So you do manage to get some things. Let's just see. Oh yeah, that didn't work. So no potatoes, no flour. Ha! Root vegetables.
Good.
36. So you do get root vegetables. They're telling you that maybe next week there will be flour because they're going to grind some more, but at the moment they don't.
That's fine.
Yeah. And do you want to do anything else, or do you return home?
In this village, usually you know the elderly people of this village.
Yeah.
Is there an elderly woman that is also sometimes enjoying a bit of a chit-chat?
Yes, there is. Absolutely.
Because Aisling is curious to learn a bit more about Sean. Because yes, she knows him roughly, but basically just on a professional kind of basis. She would be curious how the rest of the people think of him and on what is happening, because she knows there's gossip in this village.
Well, yeah, there is gossip, like there is gossip in every village. So the oldest lady that still is around is called, she's not the bedridden. No, well, the bedridden one is actually a little bit older than she is, but she's in her 70s, and her name's Vari. And she is like the typical, she is small, she is hunched over, she has very long, very white hair that she basically has turned into a plaid that she wears over her shoulder. She is Clan MacTuron, that you can tell by her colors that she wears. And she has, by all accounts, lived here for dozens and dozens of winters. She's seen it all. She also has sheep and a sheepdog.
Extra bonus points. I will just knock on the door.
The door opens and she's standing in front of you. You definitely have to look down because she is quite, she is hunched over. She says, "Why, if it isn't young Aisling, what can I do for you?
If you need help with anything, since I'm back, I can be useful again."
Yes, there is one thing. I need more water drawn from the well.
Happily to help out.
Oh. And she says, "Wait a second," and she comes back with 2 buckets. If you could fill both buckets.
Sure, I will be back in a minute.
Before you can go anywhere, this really huge sheepdog comes towards you and sniffs you and jumps up at you.
Scruffle. On the head.
Yes. She looks at him and she says, his name's actually also Duncan, and she says, "Well, Duncan, you can go with her. Show her where the well is. Go, show, where is the well? Where is the well?" And Duncan looks at you and then basically starts herding you as they do towards the well.
I will follow and be a good sheep.
And he herds you to the well. It's like, and then he gets up on his hind paws and puts his front paws on the well. And he gives you this look, kind of like, "I did well, didn't I?"
I will give him some scruffles between the ears. And
he leans in.
And when I pull up the first bucket, I will hold up the bucket for him that he can drink a bit.
Yeah, and he slobbers, and you've got a friend for life there. and then you draw the second bucket up.
And then we will go back.
He follows you, and he nuzzles you every so often, and then you come to the door. The door is still open. So you walk in?
Yeah, I'll just walk in and call out, "We're back."
"Oh yeah, do come in. And then she waits for you to step inside. Then she closes the door and she says, "If you could put them next to the fire and maybe fill that pot."
Sure. And
you'll have tea, won't you?
I would love a bit of tea before I get back. It's quite cold outside.
Yes, it is cold. You know, they're saying that the wolves are back. We haven't seen the wolves in about 10 winters. But, you know, I do remember the wolves back then. Remember? No, you weren't here. But even the river was frozen.
Oh, that must have been extra cold.
I can tell you, we lost several sheep.
Let's hope it's not getting that cold anymore.
Yes, I hope so too. But, you know, once the solstice is over, it usually doesn't get that cold anymore. I'm so glad you brought the priestess back.
Well,
we were afraid she would be gone forever.
We missed
But you told her, didn't you?
Well, let's say life brought us back here.
Life brought you back here?
Yeah. To our new and old home.
But then why did you leave in the first place? You weren't even gone more than 3 weeks.
family business on my side, and she was nice enough to travel with me.
And then you brought her back. But you're staying now, right?
We are still thinking about traveling during maybe spring, summer, so it might be that we will leave for a bit again, but at least during winter we will definitely stay.
That's good. She's good for the village.
I'm glad to have her around, and it's really nice to see her being happy and helping. She enjoys it quite a bit.
Yeah. We didn't have anyone for such a long time, and then she came. I mean, we're glad that you're here as well. Don't get me wrong, 2 strong arms, but,
I'm not
there
a
is something
healer.
about her.
Yeah, she's special. She's one of the good ones.
As are you, I'm sure.
Well, I'm trying. I think for her it's much easier.
And she laughs, and then she gives you tea. And she sits down, and she basically, she's an old lady, so she has like a woven tartan skirt on, obviously, and then and also a blanket, so she's wrapped up.
Yeah.
She's wrapped up.
I think when we sit down with the tea, I would be enjoying her cat.
Yeah.
You've been around here for a long time, haven't you?
Oh yes, we came. My husband and I, we came. Oh, so many years ago. He didn't last long.
That's sad to hear, but it's nice that you are around for this long.
Well, it was sad in the beginning, but then again, such is life. The gods give and the gods take.
We can just
It was quick.
Enjoy it the best we can.
He was trampled by a bull.
Oh.
I remember the bull, Angus. He was a beauty.
But bull can be nasty, and yeah, as a child I already heard be afraid or be careful around them because they can be deadly.
Yes.
If they get you trampled or you get the horn.
Yeah. But that was such a long time ago.
But now you have lovely Duncan by your side.
Yes, and Duncan kind of looks at you, and if he could, he would draw himself up and kind of go, yes.
But I would be curious. I'm trying to figure out to understand a bit more about Sean and his daughter Lina. They haven't been around for a bit.
Do you mean when did they move?
When did they
place?
Get here? And was the mother not around?
Oh no, her mother died.
Okay.
Well, Sean's father, old Sean, has lived here. I mean, even old Sean is younger than she is, but but not by much. He used to live here, and then when her mother died, Sean Og and Lina moved here. Dearie me, that poor girl. I just hope that her husband treats her better than her father did.
He has some anger issues.
He has a temper.
She's with us at the moment, and oh boy, she really looks beaten up.
What happened this time?
She doesn't want to marry. At least not that guy. She is in love with someone else that he's not approving.
That is hard. There isn't anything she can do, I mean, other than elope.
Oh, she has 2 options. Run away or marry.
But the other one, does he love her back?
Oh, yes.
You know him?
Briefly. Still trying to know him a bit better.
So did you speak to him, her father, I mean?
Well, I just delivered the message that she is safe with us because we honestly also don't want him to worry and walk rampant through the streets or searching the wilderness with all the wolves out there because he's worried she's out there. So I just gave him the message that she is with us because she has to heal up. He did not take it very well. I'm sad enough to make the move to tell someone if someone is guest in my house, they are guest in my house. And I will not allow him to run in there and pull her out by her hair. Because that is not how treating guests works. If she wants to leave, she can leave. If she doesn't want to leave, she doesn't have to leave. He did not take that well.
I'm pretty sure that you're probably the first person to have stood up to him like this, and a woman to boot. He must be feeling terrible now.
Yeah, especially because then on top of that, we have also the dear sister standing right next to me because it's our home and she is taking care of Lena. So he would need to go through both of us, which he knows will be troublesome.
And she...
in different ways.
She's holding her cup and she chuckles as she breathes onto it to basically blow it cold a little, and then she chuckles some more and she has a sip and she says, "Poor Shawnee."
Well, I understand that he paid quite some money to marry her off. But I honestly get that she doesn't want to do what he wants, but want to live her own life and be happy. Which will be hard enough, to be honest, but...
Happiness isn't always on the cards for all of us.
No. I'm curious to see where this will lead.
Do you think he has enough money, the one that she loves, to buy her?
No. He has no money and he will not be allowed to be here, I guess.
So if he's not here, where did she find him?
I'm not sure where they met. I guess out there somewhere.
Out there somewhere? You mean he's living outside in the wilderness?
Yes.
In winter?
Yes.
Why?
Let's give him the hopeful doubt that he was so desperate that he had to steal to survive, but was caught.
He's a thief?
Yes.
Of all the boys in the village, she couldn't pick any of them? And she couldn't go with her father's choice?
He's a pretty one, I have to say. As I said, we are still trying to know him better and see if he's really good on the inside, but although still in the end it's her decision, not ours. It's her life. It's brave of her to stand up towards Sean and saying, "No, I will not marry," knowing what will happen. She knew he would beat her up. I'm sure about that.
No, it wouldn't be the first time.
I was afraid so. Although I still don't understand why men think hitting a woman is something that is okay and that they should be proud of and they're allowed to. Because they wouldn't be allowed to hit another man like that, but... Well, that's our time now, as it seems. We will see, but I guess there will be some drama and things to talk about in the future around Sean and his daughter.
She chuckles and she says, "Well, the next time I meet the girls for the quilting, we will have something to chat about."
Feel free. And, well, let's see if Sean shows up in front of our house screaming like the devil that he wants his daughter.
If this happens, I hope you will tell me all about it.
Promise I will. Although I honestly hope it will not come to that, because I highly doubt it will end well for him.
Well, when he's in his cups, you never know.
I know how to defend my home and my friends.
And at this, she gets really earnest. She says, but do be careful of him.
Oh, believe me, I'm careful. I met a wolf, a bear yesterday, and honestly, I would rather meet the bear again than
You met a bear? Do tell. And she gives you more tea. And she wants to hear the bear story.
I was out hunting because, well, I wanted to get our stock a little bit up and a bit on top so we can trade, because at the moment, well, you know, getting fresh food is tricky. And, well, I avoided the wolves. I saw definitely traces of wolves, but I didn't see a wolf. But then, well, I looked up and a big old hungry bear was right in front of me. He shouldn't even be awake. They should sleep by now, but I guess...
And how did you kill him?
I did not kill him.
What did you do? Talk to him?
I was lucky enough that I had some quite freshly baked bread in my pocket as food for the travel, and he was just interested in the bread.
Go away!
I threw the bread to one direction, wished him a happy meal, and just circled around him.
This is just one of the best stories ever. Just wait till I tell Bridie. And she, as you have just made her day, perfect. She is totally excited. She says, oh, but I haven't even thanked you for bringing in.
Don't.
Just stay there. And she gets up, she unwraps herself, you know, and she goes to the pantry. I mean, it's part of her one room hovel, and she takes out something that it's a traditional for this time of year. It's quite traditional. It's not bread, it's more like a cake. So it contains nuts, it contains berries, and it is very dark because it is baked in the fire for a very long time to make it last. It's also really hard. So basically how you eat it is you break it off and then you put it in tea and then you just start sucking on it and eating it. And she says, for you and the sister. She conducted the sermon so beautifully yesterday, and I can tell you we were so afraid that we would have to celebrate on our own, and you never know if there is not a priestess, if the sun really will come back.
Well, it might be that still the gods are looking upon us in a good way, even if there's no priestess here. As long
but
as
did you see how she pulled back the sun?
She does that quite well.
With her sweet words. Do tell her that I really enjoyed the sermon. You know, I don't know how many more I will see, but that one was one to remember.
I will tell her, and it was quite the adventure for me the first time to greet the sun when it came up with her.
And she smiles, and she hands you this cake.
Aisling is tempted to not accept it, because food is rare, but she will take it anyhow, because she thinks worry she will have to take it if she wants it or not. And honestly, you don't fight with elderly women. They are stronger than you think. So, well, thank you so much. And if you need any help with anything, if you need repair or whatever, just send me a note. Or also, one of us is quite often around here. So I will peek
I will look out for you. There's always bits and bobs, you know. My back isn't what it used to be, so carrying stuff is quite difficult these days. But this water will last me a couple of days. But you know, next time you're here,
I will peek in,
and I will have tea ready for you.
Thank you so much. Then I will keep on moving. I need to extend our stables because we have 2 horses now.
Oh, isn't that nice?
It is, but they need some space. And then have a nice rest of the day. And I will give Duncan last scratches, and
if he was a cat he would purr. And he basically, he takes you to the door and he sees you out and she does too. And then he follows you down the road a little.
Mhm.
And then he basically, he returns. And what? Nein, wir raten. Wir gehen jetzt nicht hin und nehmen diese Spinne weg, weil das ist nur Lärm.
But it's something to play with.
Yeah, I know, and it's gonna blow up the place. And basically, do you want to do anything else, or do you go back?
I will get on the horse and go back to deliver what I traded for and to carefully deliver the message.
So you arrive.
Yes.
You take care of the horse, you step inside. Siobhan looks at you and she says, "How did it go?" And she you can see that she's checking. Do you still have both arms? Is there blood on your hands? Is it your own?
Well, I
you look
fine.
Good.
I will hand out. I traded for some carrots and other things.
Thank you. And she takes it and she accepts it. She's very happy.
And I guess Luna is there as well, right?
Yeah, and so is Cormac, who has woken up.
Well, your father's not quite happy. Surprise?
I didn't expect him to be.
It might be that he will show up here, although I warned him not to.
She pales immediately. She blanches.
You are safe here. I made quite sound and clear that you are a guest under our roof, and I will not allow anyone to treat my guests illly. If you want to leave, you are happy to leave. If you want to stay, you are welcome to stay. He mentioned that your future husband, in his eye, will come in 2 days. I told him back that he should tell him that he should maybe take a bit more time. You know, bride needs to be presentable, and he damn sure took care that you are not presentable at the moment. He did not take that too well. I think the handle of his axe now has some indents, but we left on that note that I will give his message that he wants you back. Surprise. That whoever he thinks he will marry you off to will be there in 2 days. And for the rest, I told him it's your decision, not mine. But as I said, you are safe here. You don't have to go back.
She looks at you and then she looks at Siobhan and she says, "But where do we go from here? We can't stay here forever."
No, but you should stay here until you're both fit enough. And honestly, if you two want to be together, and Cormac, you are willing to take care of this young lady, you need to move on. You will not be safe around here, as much I would like to keep you here and help you. We can make sure you are ready to travel and that you're able to get to the next village and see if you can start there.
Inadvertently, she puts both her hands on her abdomen.
But Aisling was so close to say, but she...
And Siobhan says a word.
Sure.
And she takes you outside and she says, he will be ready to travel in about 3 to 4 days.
Okay. Then they have as long to be safe and sound here.
For her, I'm not so sure how she will fare.
From her mind or her body?
Her body. She's not cut out for motherhood, that one.
Anything we can do to help her?
She definitely needs to go to a place where she can have the child under the auspices of a healer. She cannot deliver the child on her own. Okay. There is no way.
So we need a place with a healer.
Yeah.
Then it's still...
I mean, the one village over is a good idea, but I'm just afraid that... Do you think her father will let them go? Or do you think he will send somebody after him or even follow them himself?
I don't think he will let her go. I'm also not sure if he will be able to follow them. I'm sure they can't stay here. As much as I would love the idea for them to just build up a house and be happy here, he will not allow that. And it's his right to not allow it, which is horrible enough.
And when you say that, you notice that she inadvertently touches her own throat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what Cormac will say when he knows that he's a father. I'm not so sure about him.
I would like to talk with him a bit, but I'm not sure if I will be able to get her out and leave a sign.
Oh, I will get her out for you if that's what you want.
I would be curious what kind of guy he is, but in the end it will show when she tells him.
She's not the only one.
She's not the only one, what? Being pregnant?
She may be in love with him, but I doubt he's in love with her.
Okay. Then we need to see how we can open her eyes before she makes a decision that she will regret.
You talk to him and maybe you can knock some sense into him. And I mean that literally, figuratively. Just don't touch him.
I will not break a bone.
Don't leave any marks.
He's weak. I'm not hurting him.
So I will get her out to look at the horses and you talk to him.
Yeah.
So you step inside, she goes with you. She asks Lina to help her with Percy because Percy is her one true love, apparently, next to Cormac. And Cormac is now sitting up. He looks a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that he probably doesn't have a fever anymore. He's filled out a little bit and he's no longer pale. And
I will just sit next to him cross-legged. So I hear you had to steal. That's why you can't be here around here.
well, I had to eat something.
The question is, what are your plans? How do you want to provide for her? Because she for sure will run off with you if you snip with the finger. Ready to...
I haven't really thought about this.
Not ready to create a family? Getting settled? Building up a life?
Family.
That would be the next step if you go with her.
I'm not marrying. At least not her.
You should tell her.
That's going to be very difficult.
She is ready to throw her life away for you. I will drag you up there to the wolves and leave you there if you don't talk to her. She needs to know.
What do you want me to say?
The truth. That you will not marry her, that you don't want to create a family with her.
It's just going to take so long. I'm feeling a lot better. I can leave.
Aisling will stand up and will go up to her full size. I'm not joking. I will drag you up there. I'm regretting to say that I have saved you. Her father is mistreating her because she was standing up Against him for you? And you don't even have the guts to talk to her?
What do you want of me?
I want you to tell her the truth about how you feel about her and that you don't want to create a family. So she can make a proper decision about her life.
How did family enter into any of this?
You have no idea about women, do you? She's madly in love with you. Her next goal is to marry you, create a family, have a home, a house, and grow old together. That's how we women work. And we need to hear from the guy that they don't want to go that way. And I can't
If
tell
I'd
her.
known, I would have just stayed away from her.
Well, you know for now, for the next time, but could you please tell her? Because if I say it, she will not believe it. She needs to hear it from you, because she is, as I said, blindly in love. And I know you had your fun. And I'm not...
How would you know?
I'm not stupid. I'm not judging. I just want you to be honest to her.
All right, I will talk to her.
Thank you.
Where is she? I'm gonna talk to her now.
Just stay here. I will send her back in.
Okay, so you send her back in. Do you stay?
I will send her back in, and honestly, we have windows. Because I will not stay inside, because that would be just rude, because it's a private conversation. But honestly, at least Aisling will stay quite discreetly next to the window, just leaning against the wall, listening in, because she wants to make sure that he is saying the truth.
Okay, so you
I'm not
wait
sure what
outside.
Siobhan is saying, because I will give Siobhan the same, basically in whispering, you are right, he's not in love with her. And he definitely doesn't want to create a family, which will be...
Did you tell him that she's pregnant?
No, I told him that he needs to be quite honest and frank about how he feels and what he wants, so she can make a proper decision. He was quite hesitant. I had to tell him that I will drag him up there to the wolves again if he's not honest. I will just listen in and see if he's honest. And Aisling will go to the window, just leaning against the wall.
You don't even need to. You don't even need to listen very hard. He is pretty much telling her that he has no interest whatsoever. You hear something that reminds you of someone slapping someone else.
He deserves that.
And the door opens.
Mm-hmm.
And Lina steps out. She's devastated.
I will just look to Siobhan and basically give her the sign. Hey, that's your métier. I'm
and
out.
Siobhan does step over to her, and she takes her in her arm basically, and she says, "Okay, well, you and I are going to take a walk now." And then she looks at you and nods towards the door.
Before they leave, I would step up next to Siobhan anyhow and would just question her, does he need your help anymore? Or will he be fine with some rest?
He will be fine with some rest.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm not going to give him any more of my herbs. I don't have that many.
My idea is to get him out and about back to his home where he can rest.
That's fine. You can do that. He's fine.
Good.
And then she takes the girl away.
Yeah, look for the snip. Maybe we caught something. I think some fresh air and looking up might help.
Yeah, and she takes her to the snares. So Cormac has gotten up.
Yeah, I would step inside. Thank you for being honest. Now let's get you back to wherever your home is.
She hit me.
You are lucky that was the only thing she did.
What is it with you? I didn't do anything to her.
Oh boy. Come on, let's get you packed up. Where's your home that I can bring you there? Because I will not send you out weekend like this into the wilderness, but you can't stay here.
Well, he basically doesn't really have a home, so he has built himself a little lean-to hut.
Something like that. Where
Yeah,
he's
and he
at least
explains.
safe inside. That's the
Yeah,
main point.
it's an inside, so it's not. It's so you go there. It's actually out of the way, so he would be safe. Nobody would find him there. It's kind of cozy. You could see how one thing might lead to another.
Okay, I would have also been sadly enough, nice enough that I would have probably picked up some of the bread for him that he doesn't need to hunt or anything, that he at least for the next few days gets through somehow.
And you also find out quite quickly how they would have met
Mm-hmm.
because there are lots and lots of hazelnut bushes there. So she may have been collecting nuts
That might have been the
when they
point.
met. So there would have been reason for her to go
Mm-hmm.
there for lots of people because, there is
Yeah.
berries, there is nuts. And then he says, so that's it now? So you're letting me go?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. I was half afraid you might keep your word and drag me back up there again.
You were honest, so I don't have to drag you back up there.
You're dangerous.
You too.
You do have the feeling that he doesn't really get what the problem is. He has not made that connection at all. He has no clue.
You should be careful around girls.
Again, she came to me.
Well, now she has the hugest problem on her hands that she could have, thanks to you.
At 39, it's dawning on him. What do you mean?
You're not interested in a family, so she needs to see how she can manage it on her own.
She's pregnant?
Yes, well done. Now we will have to hope that her father will not murder her for that. But, well, just be careful around any other girl you meet out here. Please be just honest. And don't get caught stealing again in the village, because then I will have to hunt you.
Why didn't she tell me?
Because she knows you're not loving her. Why would she? She doesn't want to have you around anymore.
But are you sure it's my child?
Ashley went 1, 2, 3 deep breath. You really have no idea about people.
But then she can't get married.
Depending on how much money her father pays and how quickly she gets married.
She should have just told me.
And what would you have done? You would have let her sit. Anyhow, now you have the easy way out. Take it. Learn from it. Maybe
he's really conflicted now.
You should travel to a village and start to try over. You have 2 hands and a brain. You can work. You can build up a life. Not in this village. There are a lot of places out there that need hardworking people. That's the only thing I can give you as a hint that would be good for you.
I will leave.
Good.
I will leave in 3 days. Come back here on the 4th, and I will be gone.
Safe travels. Be careful around the wolves. You learned how to scare them off. Loud and crooked singing.
And he kind of tries to smile, but he's now really thinking about things. He's not, he has changed a lot.
At least that's a tiny bit of showing that he's generally not a bad person. He's just young and doesn't really care. That's two different points. So
that is probably true because he is quite young. He is very young.
So she will just, as I said, good luck for your future life. And then she will just walk out and go back home.
Yeah, you go back home. Siobhan and Lina are back. Lina is very, very quiet. She just sits there, she eats something, she then steps outside and just turns around and says, I'm going to look out after the horses. And just walks away towards the stable, and Siobhan says, I guess marriage is the best option now.
That would be probably the best option. She would be... The thing is, I don't know what kind of guy her father picked out, to be honest. Best case, he's a good guy, then it's a good choice, because she would be away from Sean.
Well, he's not from the village.
Yeah.
So she would be away from him.
Yeah. Let's just hope that her husband will not be as aggressive as her father is.
Yeah. But I think under all these circumstances, a quick marriage is better.
Well, she still has basically almost 2 days to decide to go back home.
I think she's made up her mind.
I think we will just help her whichever way she wants to go.
What about him? What about Cormac? What did you do to him? Well, I'll take that back. What happened?
Well, brought him home. He will stay there for 3 more days, and then he will leave to start maybe a proper life. Also, I told him to be more careful around girls. He got the nudge. He knows now.
He knows.
Yes.
Well, maybe that'll teach him something.
I think it struck something in him. I don't think he's not an evil guy. I highly doubt he would mistreat a woman like Sean did. He's just young, and he's not ready for family and settling down. He's just enjoying life. And I really think he just stole because he was hungry and needed to survive.
All right, so he's gone.
Yeah.
We will take her back to her father.
Yeah.
And there I was. I mean, the thing is, I could have married the two of them if he had agreed. And there would have been no going back on that one.
Though it could still happen that her father would have gone berserk with this. The only thing that honestly I think Lina should stay here basically until last minute.
Yes.
If she goes there too early, it might be that she will not be married, because she will not be standing in front of us anymore. If he gets really angry, I'm not sure what will happen.
Either way, she will be out of his home.
Yes.
She's not that far gone. If they get married now, nobody will know. But she does need to have a healer. If he's from the next village, like she says, maybe it's an option that we take her there.
I'm not sure where he's from. I never asked.
So the groom is coming here to do what? To pick her up and get married somewhere else, because nobody has asked me to perform the rites.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Good. Then I'll have to talk to her and explain to her exactly what she needs to do.
I will probably, honestly, we should bring her together to her father and hand her more or less directly over to her future husband.
Yeah, then you can take a look at him and put the fear of the gods into him.
The fear of the gods is your work.
Yes, because you're just a giant sheepdog.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to get her back before she catches death while she's looking at the horses. And then we'll make dinner. And she goes outside, comes back. Lina is still not in a good position, but she is happily making dinner. And with that, we will close today's session.
Oh, man.
It wasn't as whenever we try to have a chill episode, it doesn't work. It's never chill.
Although it was quite chill, because it was not really about Aisling or Siobhan. It was about other people. So for me, it was a chill episode.
But I have to say, I was very surprised that you managed to evade both fights.
Well, I'm just thinking about what I know about wildlife, and I know that wolves really don't like light and loud noise.
Yeah, and it was so convincing that but I enjoyed it. It was great. So we hope you enjoyed it as well. So you too, and we hope out there people enjoyed it too. So yes, we are back with A Daughter of Alba because we've had many requests, which I'm very happy about. And yeah, so interestingly enough, we will already be recording the next episode in a week. So there's going to be a double episode coming out. So be safe. And oh yes, we would like to thank one of our newest patrons, Gelbwurstfieber. Thanks for joining. He feeds the cats. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
O hi mina morviena, o hi mina korviena, o hi mina karachen, hi mina skaren fojo, hi mi gondalan taches an trukuk mi, Kerer am feilch sa chan a hukas mi, jev mi an eigus gran rukem, nach rech ging tunich en or. O hi mina morviena, o hi mina korviena, o hi mina karachen, hi mina skaren foicho.